Country and McDonald's.
This is Primetime Sports, WGNS Murfreesboro, on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, streaming worldwide on WGNSSports.com, and always at the game. The game. It's where you've had breakfast with the coaches since 1992. It's the Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner. We'll talk to the coaches about their most recent games and their upcoming opponents. Now from News Radio WGNS, it's the Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to our Saturday meeting place here with the Rutherford County High School coaches. Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner on the air here this morning. Glad you have decided to join us here on a, kind of a dreary, rainy Saturday. Not raining a whole lot right now, at least, but supposed to be a pretty rainy day. Nothing else better to do. So thanks for listening in here this morning on the radio. We've got lots to talk about. Boys basketball coaches today as we race toward the finish line here in the regular season. We're getting very, very close. In fact, 2 weeks left. We've got this next week and the following week, and that will wrap up the regular season slate, and we'll be talking tournaments. So we'll be kind of previewing that, I guess, with our coaches this morning. The next time our boys coaches will be on will be right before the tournament, girls week next week. And we'll continue right on through tournament time as well. So I'll look at last night's scores and briefly give you the girls' scores and kind of concentrate on the boys' scores this morning. In girls last night, it was Oakland defeating Rockvale 54-42. Cookeville downs Stewart's Creek 36-28. It was tied at halftime, and Cookeville took a small lead in the third, and Cookeville winds up winning that. That was at Cookeville last night. Riverdale girls get their first district win of the season, defeating Siegel 45-43. It was Smyrna downing Laverne 51-37. Moore County over Eagleville 48-30. FRA 37, MTCS 36. And that ended a 4-game week for the Cougars and Lady Cougars, trying to make up all those, and all district games, make up all those snow outs from the week before. PCA was a winner over Grace Christian 49-28, and Central Magnet defeats Franklin County 58-51. In boys now, Rockvale 71, Oakland 51. It was overtime, and Stewart's Creek falls to Cookeville 71-63. Siegel defeated Riverdale 61-32 last night. Laverne 72, Smyrna 44. Eagleville a winner over Moore County 77-40. FRA 77, MTCS 69. PCA 75, Grace Christian 36. And it was Central Magnet edging Franklin County 61-57. So, district standings, we're going to talk about that with the coaches this morning, kind of look ahead for the next 2 weeks and see where things are looking for them. Some very tight races in our districts in Class 4A and Single A and Division 2 that we'll be taking a look at here on the show this morning. So that's where we will be in conversation today. If you will stay with us, we will have John Dinkins up first this morning. John is going to take the first leg of the coaches show, and then I'll be along around 8:45 or so for Laverne, Oakland, Stewart's Creek, and Rockvale. John will have Riverdale, Smyrna, and Blackman. And then Danny Brewer will finish up with Siegel, Eagleville, and then MTCS Cougar Corner this morning. We're here with you until 10:45 or so, and then Middle Tennessee Lady Raider basketball at 11:30, and it's FIU on the road, and then the men this afternoon around 4:30 airtime on WGNS. Well, stay with us. Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner continues. Grab that cup of coffee and hang in with us for the coaches' conversation here on a Saturday.
If you need concrete work done, who would I call? Dan Franz Concrete. Here's why. He's local. He attended Walter Hill Elementary, Oakland, and MTSU. He served our community as a school resource officer for 9 years, and he's involved in the community.
This is Dan with Dan France Concrete, wishing all Rutherford County student athletes a great season. Study hard, play harder, and be safe.
Dan France Concrete is a licensed and insured residential and commercial concrete construction contractor serving Middle Tennessee. Check out danfranceconcrete.com online to see some of their work.
Here's a question. What do you want from your electric co-op?
Fast response if the power goes out.
An app that keeps me informed. Tips to lower my monthly bill.
Communication on things that matter to me.
Done, 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 done.
I want to know everything.
Everything? Well, young lady, let me show you the MyMTE app. Energy Service Life. That's Middle Tennessee Electric. We're here to get done what matters most to you. Learn more at mte.com.
We're talking now with Heather here at Carpets by Osborne. What are some of the advantages that Carpets by Osborne has?
Being a family business and being locally owned and operated, we do free estimates. We have our own subcontractors that work for our business. We will come out, look at your floor covering. Throughout the whole process, you deal with an individual. You're not passed off to different contractors. We handle it from start to finish.
Carpets by Osborne on Northwest Broad, next to Tire World.
This is Primetime Sports, WGNS Murfreesboro, on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at WGNSSports.com. The Prentice Alsop Heating and Air Coaches Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's Murfreesboro, on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at WGNSSports.com.
And this portion of the show is brought to you by Middle Tennessee Electric, serving our community by providing affordable, reliable, and safe electricity online at mte.com. John Dinkins here with you, and glad to welcome to the show Michael Voss, the head coach of the Riverdale Warriors. And, Michael, we had an opportunity to be at Riverdale last night, and always appreciate the hospitality over there. And didn't go your way last night. And when I look at it, you're right there with them, and then it starts with a scoring drought, I guess is the best way to put it. It just didn't fall in the basket.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's been the story of our year. There's been times we struggled to put the ball in the basket, and you know, I thought in the Rockville game, one of the things that we did was we drove the ball and got to the paint and was fairly good down there. We turned the ball over too much against them, and then last night we kind of went back to a few old habits of we settled for some shots early. We didn't turn the ball over very much, but we settled for some shots early in possessions that really just, you know, they're not going in for us right now. We didn't really work to get paint touches early, and you know, it shows on how the ball goes in the basket for us in those situations. But I thought defensively we played fairly well last night. Defensively, a really great effort, and in the ball game at halftime, and came out in the third quarter, and again, what do you attribute to that? I think a lot of it is, you know, you've had the injury that was really major, and that kind of took your general out of the hunt, and it's almost like they're trying to find their way. Who's going to take the shot? Who's going to go inside, and that kind of thing. Well, that was the thing when you lose a guy like EJ, who was at that point he was the guy that you looked at and kind of we were running most of our stuff through him. And he was the guy that just, if you ever needed a bucket, he would go find a way to do it. We've got some guys that I think have potential to be that. You look at a guy like Wayman West, who is maybe our best natural driver right now of the basketball, and one of our better finishers at the rim. But he's a sophomore, still kind of figuring it out at times. But he's the one kind of most naturally ready to step up and take that. But EJ just had a knack for getting open. He had a way of even being undersized. He could get down there and finish over bigger guys, and we lack that right now.
you're basically taking 20-something points out of your
well,
on
I mean,
average.
that's what it was.
Yeah.
Was 20 points a game out of the lineup, and that's just, especially in high school basketball, it's hard to replace.
I want to talk about West a little bit. There were times he looked really good. I mean, there are times, but I guess being young and a little bit of inexperience, there are going to be moments where I think he doesn't want the ball. Does that make sense? It's like he just backs off a little bit when he probably maybe needs to take a little bit more in charge.
He's talented. I think sometimes what we struggle with, like when you look, Wayman's a sophomore and Hudson's a freshman, and they're playing very significant minutes. Both of them are starting. Both of them are contributing to the things that we're doing. Both of them are fairly good defensively. Like Wayman did a real good job defensively yesterday on guarding Carter Webb, and that's a hard matchup.
Oh yeah,
because Carter's a really, really good player, and I thought Wayman did a really, really good job on him. But it's not necessarily that he's not looking for it. A lot of times it's a young guy trying to figure out how to get it in high school.
Yeah.
And there's just there's a lot to be said for experience and the experience of being in that spot, and he's figuring it out. He's figuring it out, and it's one of those things that over the next 2 years he'll continue to grow in it, and we'll just see his role expand even more. And I think one of the things you'll look up in 2 years is he's going to be an all-district player and going to be a great leader for our team.
And you talk about the scoring. The last 3 games, it's been a struggle. 45 against Rockville, and 32 last night. And a lot of the credit to Siegel. They've got a really good defensive team, too. I don't want to take anything away from them. They're very talented and particularly terrific guards. You got Moss can pop a 3, and they've got skill positions are in pretty good shape there. But you've got some guys that are battling, and I didn't see them. That to me is the most important thing. I didn't see them ever quit. I mean, they were whether it was 10 points down, 5 points down, or 15. They were doing the best defensively they could. I mean, they were really going after it.
No, we battled. We have continued to, as rough as things have been, we have continued to compete. We have continued to battle. We continue to play hard. I thought last night, we talked about it going in. One of the things that we had talked about in this game was we needed great second, third, and fourth efforts, which basically after you make the first one, maybe get a deflect or even just keeping a guy in front. Well, now you got to bounce back and have another great effort, and I thought we did a good job of that last night. One of our better nights. We had more deflections than we've had in a while against a good passing team.
And really up front, with Edmonston and Turek. Am I saying that right?
Turek.
Yeah, Turek. They were blocking shots. They were denying things, and I thought they made it as difficult for Webb when he did drive to try to get in there and score. I thought they did as good a job as I've seen this year.
They did. Gray took 3 charges in the first 5 minutes of the game last night. He's 6'6", but nobody realizes, like, he puts his body on the line every night. To the point where, like, he's beat up physically, and he does everything he can in rehab to make sure he stays on the floor. He plays so hard that he's got to get some extra rest compared to some other guys, and that's the thing about him. He's going to lay it on the line, and then Ryan has come in, and he's such a competitor. Sometimes it gets in his way. He forgets he doesn't have the face mask on like he does in football. Mm-hmm. He got close to getting one last night because he dunked. Lyles tried to go block the shot, and he dunked on him. And, he can't help it. He says something, but he gathered himself quick enough to just to get back. Mm-hmm. But he's such a competitor, and he goes every time to go rebound the basketball. And that's where Ryan has really stepped up and helped us, as him and Gray have been Gray's averaging 7.5 rebounds a game, and Ryan's averaging like 7.25. Like they're right there neck and neck, going to rebound the basketball, and they're fun to watch a battle down there.
And Gray, I think when he gets into the mode of finishing plays, offensively, he's going to be a threat there because he can get open. He knows how to function there, but sometimes finishing it, and it's always tough. And that may be part of the Riverdale situation right now is finishing things, and you get an opportunity and to get it, you got to put it in the basket.
That's been the biggest struggle we've had is when we have opportunities to finish at the basket, we don't always finish. We've gotten better as the course of the year goes on. Like you look at where we were, month and a half, 2 months ago compared to where we are now, and we are better at finishing. We're better at getting the ball in the basket, but it's still, it's just still something we struggle with. And at the end of the day, we have great defensive efforts, but if we can't score, then we're going to struggle to win games.
We're talking to Michael Voss, head coach of the Riverdale Warriors, here on the Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coach's Corner. And to me, it's been a really strange year. And with the snow week, it's really made it. It seems like we got into district play, and boom, it's about over. And you've got some key games coming up, and one of them's Monday, and that's going to be with Oakland, and then Tuesday with Blackman. And it's amazing. You could, if you were to pull off 2 wins, you're right there again. It's just strange how that works because you've got Siegel out there, but boy, second place and that kind of thing, and third place, still kind of a battle.
Oh, it is. It'll be interesting to see how it goes. But you win Monday night, you win Tuesday night, and all of a sudden you are back kind of in a battle for second. We played Siegel twice, so Siegel's out of the way and done. We're not going to face them again. To me, you look, they're the one right now. They're the best team in the league, playing as the best team in the league right now, and everybody else, you look at the Blackman game that we had, I guess right before the snow. It's hard to remember all this. It was a 7-point game with 10 minutes to go in it, I guess it was, and we had a real tough charge called on us where we finished. We either would have cut it to 5 or cut it to 7. I can't remember the specific at the moment, but and after that the dam kind of broke and we lost for a little bit our focus and Rockville, we turned the basketball over 27 times. You can't win doing that. But even with Rockville turning it over 27 times, going into the fourth quarter, we were down 7. You're right there with a chance to win, and if we can just put one completely together, something good will happen for us. And at that point, who knows what'll happen? But the hardest thing to do is break through that wall, and that's what we've struggled with right now.
It's kind of like getting over that hump. If you can get over that hump, get that win, the confidence. Totally, you can see that in the Riverdale girls last night when they got up by 7. You could see a difference in their whole way they were playing. It was just crazy.
Yeah,
and that's kind of what you kind of look for is something good to happen and get them on a roll here.
No, that's the thing is you got to go and find the things, the positives in whatever it is we're doing. Like I thought, the biggest positive from last night was we got exactly what we practiced defensively. For the most part, we got it in every possession in the game last night, and it was something we haven't typically done, and it was something that when you looked at it, I thought we disrupted their rhythm a little bit offensively. Now they're a hard team to disrupt because they just kind of play and they flow extremely well together, but. We did some good things last night. We got those things from practice into games, and now what we got to do is we got to continue to do that, and something good will happen for us.
Well, a big week this week, 2 big games, and that's Monday, Tuesday, right?
Yeah, it's Monday, Tuesday. Monday at Oakland, Tuesday at Blackman.
No time to think about anything, just go out and play.
No, practice Sunday and get back at it.
All right, Michael, appreciate you being in. That's Michael Voss, the head coach of the Riverdale Warriors. And this portion of the show brought to you by Carpets by Osborne, who would love to help you complete any job, whether residential or commercial. That's carpet, tile, hardwood, vinyl, rugs, and more. Locally owned, online at carpetsbyosborne.com. When we come back, we'll be talking Smyrna basketball here on the Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coach's Corner.
Whether you're a student, alumni, or just a fan, Raider Tees has exactly what you need to help you cheer on the Blue Raiders on game days and every moment in between. We sell officially licensed Blue Raider gear, whether it's clothing, hats, flags, chairs, or just whatever. We have it all, including exclusive gear you won't find anywhere else. Like us on Facebook for updates on new Blue Raider gear and special prices or discounts. For all your Blue Raider gear, shop Raider Tees today. Bigger, better, and go blue!
Pizza. You in a hurry for dinner? Well, we've made it even easier to order online at sirpizzatn.com. Tap the location nearest you and begin your carryout or delivery order at sirpizzatn.com. You can choose from our full menu, and we'll take care of the rest. A Queen's Feast is calling my name. Order Murfreesboro's favorite pizza online at sirpizzatn.com.
Sir Pizza, you made me love pizza again.
Rely on the experienced professionals at Prentice Allsup Heating and Air.
Whether it's the blazing heat of summer or the bitter cold of winter, let the Rheem Pro professionals at Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Conditioning on West College Street keep your home or business comfortable year-round. We service all major brands and in most cases offer same-day service. Call us today at 615-890-1311. Prentice Allsup Heating and Air, your Rheem Pro partner heating and cooling contractor on West College Street, just under the Thompson Lane overpass.
Craig's Tax Service at 142 Heritage Park Drive offers complete tax preparation, financial, and bookkeeping services.
This is Brandon Craig with Craig's Tax Service. We're proud to support all Rutherford County athletes.
Craig's Tax Service reminds you that it makes sense to get help with your taxes. Call 890-2233 for an appointment.
We've been serving Rutherford County since 1988.
Craig's Tax Service, 890-2233.
We're just off Memorial Boulevard at 142 Heritage Park Drive.
Franklin's Printworks has been in Murfreesboro for over 25 years. We are a full-service commercial printer, everything from business cards, brochures, booklets to banners. My name is Jeff Carlton. I handle sales and marketing for Franklin's Printworks. We hear a lot people who have been working with printers on the internet, had issues, and they know that if we're working with someone local, that A, they know where to find us, and B, they know that we'll take care of it because we have to take care of our neighbors. Our website is franklinsprinting.org.
The Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's Murfreesboro on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at WGNSSports.com.
And today, this portion of the show brought to you by Rick's Barbecue, serving up the best smoked barbecue, ribs, and many local favorites on Warrior Drive. Locally operated by Anne Marie Brentz and the Lanning family. John Ding is back with you here on the show with Omar Smith, the head coach of the Smyrna Bulldogs. And, Coach, I hope you're not under the weather. I hope we're just doing this because you couldn't make it. How's that?
Yeah, it's funny. I'm picking up Girl Scout cookies, so doing two things at once.
Well, that'll humble you real fast, Coach, I'll tell you.
Yeah, oh, yes, it
will. Well, next time you come, maybe you can bring a box or two up here, okay, if you don't mind. Yeah.
I'll see what I can do for you.
We had the pleasure of being at Stewart's Creek the other night to watch you guys with a big win over the Red Hawks, 74-73. I want to talk about that game first. It's been kind of a wacky week. You had multiple games and a few more games probably than you wanted, 3 of them. But that win the other night was one of the best basketball games I've seen in a while. And boy, it was just great, and it looked like you were on the jaws of defeat several times and pulled back and came back. Really a great comeback in that game, and were able to hold on for it. I know you were proud of them on that game.
Absolutely, I was. I told the guys, this is year 3 of Smyrna for me. That may be the hardest we've played in my 3 years so far, and I told them that's something that we've got to build off of. I was very proud of them. We got down, like you said, but one of the issues we've had this year is body language, and I thought they did a really good job of keeping their composure. We got down 10. guys didn't start pouting. They just continued to fight, and you can see the result in the end.
Yeah, you've got a little mixture. You got some youngsters on your squad too, and you don't know exactly what you're going to get sometimes. But I thought their composure was really good toward the end. In fact, I think you forced Stewart's Creek into making some errors that they don't usually make, and it was just a really great game. You slip up now in the next two games here. Of course, Laverne is a tremendous ball club. And Lebanon, the last few years, they were down a little, but overall, your schedule and what you got coming up, I mean, it's tough in that district.
Oh, it is. It is, like I said, and the snow didn't help.
Mm-hmm.
I think it helped us against Stewart's Creek because we were able to, unlike most, your district schedule, you have a cycle. Well, with the snow, we played Stewart's Creek, we were off, and then we played Stewart's Creek again. So we were able to just literally just go right back in and correct mistakes and look at the things that we did good, look at the things we did bad. But now, going forward, we had, Lebanon on Wednesday, Laverne last night. We'll turn right around Monday. We've got Wilson Central Monday, then Lebanon again Tuesday, then Wilson Central again Friday. So it's a grind, and it's going it's going to test your composure, it's going to test your will. But I think we it's good for our guys. Like I said, we're young, and so we're going to learn a lot from this 3-week span right here going into the district tournament. So it'll be good for us.
Well, you had the win over Stewart's Creek, then you had to go to Lebanon the very next night, and it's hard to repeat some of that. I know I don't want to make excuses, but it is tough when you don't even have a day to prepare. You're going right into the next one, and sometimes was there a letdown there a little bit at all, or it just they played well?
I think a little bit of both. I think that people know that Stewart's Creek Smyrna rivalry is growing and growing and growing.
Mm-hmm.
It's getting really big, and our kids really. I mean, you saw our students and how they reacted. Guys stormed the floor afterwards, and then, like I said, we've got to turn around less than 24 hours later, get on the bus, go to Lebanon. Then, unfortunately, we had our leading scorer get sick right at tip-off, so he played about 3 minutes. But like I said, not to make an excuse, Jim McDowell's a great coach, and they're very young, but those kids play hard. They do what they're coached to do. And so when having to make that turnaround, that's very hard for a group of young guys to do. And so, like I said, again, that's another lesson for us. Life is one of those things. You take the test, and then you learn the lesson afterwards. And so our guys are kind of figuring that one out.
And, of course, Laverne, I think they're ranked in the state, just a really hard matchup, and take them on last night. And but you get to go and do this pretty much over again here. You've got Wilson Central on Monday and Lebanon on Tuesday next week, and that one will be at Wilson Central, but you got Lebanon at home, so a chance to maybe get a little revenge back there on Tuesday night.
Absolutely. Like you said, Laverne's really good. Everybody knows how good they are. But like I said, next week's going to be big because us three teams are fighting, to try to move up in the standings. We're basically, I think us and Lebanon are, have the same record, or we're right close by, and then Wilson Central's right behind us. So, we're fighting for not to be in that last spot. And so we all got the same goal. We know, okay, we're not going to finish first place. That's just being honest with ourselves. But how well can we do to position ourselves to succeed going forward?
You want to you'd like to. That Lebanon game is big, and I don't want to look ahead, but that Wilson Central and Lebanon both, they're big games coming up next week.
Absolutely. I mean, if we're fortunate enough to take care of business at Wilson Central, that gives us our second win. That kind of, I won't say cements them in the last spot, but it kind of puts them in a even bigger hole, and then that gives us the opportunity to go against Lebanon the next night, and then winner of that game moves up a spot. So we're kind of nipping at Stewart's Creek heels right now, trying to get to that third spot. And so it's really big. We've got a lot to still play for, and so we've preached that to our guys, and we told them after last night, we've got to move on. We got to move on, get past it, and get ready for the next one.
Omar Smith, our guest here on the Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coach's Corner. And Omar, when you look at this is the time you look at district standings, and again, they can change so much. Basketball is such a strange sport when it comes to you play a lot of non-district games and get ready and overall record, and I know it's important, that kind of thing, but really, when you get to district, you're looking for your position, where you want to be, and you don't necessarily have to win the district. You just have to be playing well when the season gets to a near and get to tournament time, and that's kind of what you're looking for, isn't it?
Absolutely. You think about our team, and one of the things we've talked about this year is, how much we lost from last year. We lost about 85, 90% of our scoring from last year. And so these guys are really learning. This is a very new experience for our guys. Even you think about our 3 seniors, they hadn't played a lot either. So they're very young and experienced as well. So this is something new for them. And so it's one of the things, we're talking X's and O's and different things like that, but we're also talking about what to expect coming up, how guys are going to play you, because like I said, everybody's looking to move up in the standings, get in the right spot, and, try to position themselves to have the best chance to make it to the region tournament and things of that nature. So it's a whole big experience. It's not just the game itself, but just, how to navigate this part of the year.
Well, you got 2 guys named McCarver, and they're fun to watch. They are really fun to watch. And tell us a little bit about Zaccheaus, okay, McCarver.
Oh my gosh, that kid is in sports where we use the term a dog. Kind of fitting that we are the Bulldogs, but that kid is a dog. He's fearless, and it's probably part of it because he's the baby of 3 boys, and so people that siblings understand that he's probably had to fight for everything.
food, yeah.
Spot in the house.
Yeah.
You can see it when he gets on the court. The kid is just fearless. I remember watching him during football season. He was the same way. He was the one that took back the kickoff to win the county championship against Oakland in the freshman football. So he's just a winner. The kid just hates to lose. He's ultra competitive, and so that really helps him, and it's going to be big going forward. I'm looking forward to the next 3 years coaching him.
Yeah, I mean, he's so young, but gosh, he he's not your typical, freshman in terms of, I mean, he seems like he's been there already, just right. And Tyreek, of course, kind of your go-to guy. He's been so solid for you over the years, and just a really, I don't want to talk too much about little brother. It might be a fight at home, but he's a tremendous ball player as well.
Yeah, and it's funny, my first year I had the older brother Ashton, so I was compared to 3 and how they are all so different. But Tyreek is so light and quick, and just he sometimes he'll squeeze through a double team, and the coaches were all looking at each other and trying to figure out how he did that. Or take a pass, and when he's throwing it, we're like, "What are you doing?" And then next thing you know, somebody's shooting a layup. So he's a special talent as well. Another kid that's playing 2 sports, and just very competitive and likes to get after it. And so like I said, I'm looking forward to that having those guys and seeing what they can do going forward.
Well, tell me about the kid in the middle, or he's a freshman or a sophomore. The name is I cannot think of it right at the moment, but he is such a solid presence, kind of a young kid, but he can do a lot of things too. And
Jaleel Beatty-Roberts.
Yes, thank you. Yeah.
But so funny story. Jaleel played for me as a freshman. It's funny. I think when we had him his first year, he was about 5'10", very small. Family moved to Laverne, and then they moved back into Smyrna, and I get him back in there. He was about 6'4". He's actually playing out of position. He's a natural guard.
Mm-hmm.
You kind of watch him play. He's struggling with ball handling a little bit, but I think a lot of that is that growth spurt, him trying to catch up to his body.
Yeah.
But he's been great because he's playing out of position. The kid that we had projected to be our starting 5, Jordan Clay Joseph, was about 6'6". He's been out hurt. So Jaleel just took on that responsibility of playing that 5 spot. He hadn't complained, and he's embraced it. It's been a blessing. I told him, this is going to help you in the long run.
Right.
When college coaches come looking at you because they see that you can play multiple positions and you're a team guy. So that's been a huge blessing to have him.
And you talk about wanting to win. I mean, he's in every play. I mean, he is on it.
Yes, and him being at Laverne last year, with their success going to the sub-state last year, I think that was big because he got to see that success firsthand. He didn't play a lot then, but he was around the program, obviously, practicing with those guys, and so that's been big for him individually.
Well, Omar, we got to let you go, but I appreciate you talking with us this morning, and good luck. It's a big week for Smyrna Bulldog basketball.
It is, and we're gonna get back to it, and we're gonna make the city of Smyrna proud this week.
All right, good luck to you next week. That's Omar Smith, the head coach of the Smyrna Bulldogs. This portion of the show brought to you by First National Bank of Middle Tennessee. If you're looking for a hometown feel with your bank, turn to the First National Bank of Middle Tennessee, offering full-service banking and mortgage services. When we come back, it's Barry Wortman of the Blackman Blaze.
Winners Trophies can help you with customized awards for any occasion. Owner Kelly Hockenberry continues to provide awards for sports teams, churches, recognition awards, and more. Call Winners Trophies at 904-6002. That's 904-6002 for the best in quality, service, and pricing. You can also email Kelly, winnerstrophy@comcast.net. That's winnerstrophy@comcast.net. Any award for any occasion. Winners Trophies, 904-6002.
We're at Rick's Barbecue on Warrior Drive, where, of course, they've got barbecue and smoked chicken, ribs, but they have other favorites.
Our chicken tenders are delicious. We bread them here ourselves. We have so many different kinds of sides, and our nachos are really good and popular. I love the menu. I could literally eat here every day.
Anne Marie Brents at Rick's Barbecue.
We're thankful for the customers. We have a lot of regulars, loyal customers that come in, and when they come in, I already know their order.
Bet you're hungry now. We'll see you at Rick's Barbecue, 212 Warrior Drive.
I'm Good Neighbor State Farm Agent Celeste Middleton, and I'd love the opportunity to talk to you about the significant rate decrease we're experiencing now. Let me compare coverage and possibly save you hundreds on your home and auto. Call me at 615-895-2700.
Renters, when you combine State Farm Auto and Renters Insurance, you will save money. I'm State Farm Agent Dana Womack, and I'd love to talk to you about combining your auto and Renters Insurance to help you save. Call me at 615-900-0877.
Hello, my name is Colleen Clary, a mortgage loan officer with F&B Mortgage, a division of First National Bank of Middle Tennessee. Here at F&B Mortgage, we are dedicated to serving you and our community. We understand the challenges that are faced in today's economy when purchasing a home, and we are here to help guide you through the process every step of the way. Contact me today or visit our website at fnbmt.com. Member FDIC Equal Housing Lender, NMLS 401715.
The Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's Murfreesboro on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at WGNSSports.com.
And this portion of the show brought to you by Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance, TOA, the largest and most comprehensive orthopedic surgery group in Middle Tennessee. You can find out more at TOA.com. Barry Wortman joins me, head coach of the Blackman Blaze, and I don't know if you know, Barry, but we're on TV now. You can go to YouTube and right, Dalton. We can go to YouTube and see yourself. I tried to avoid that at all costs.
Yeah. I wish you'd have told me that. I mean, dress a little different.
No. You're fine. You're fine. No tie and code here. Barry, congratulations, 600 wins. Now, I'm not going to say that means you're old. I'm just saying that means you're successful. But congratulations on what is a career that's been great and ongoing, and hopefully several more years.
Well, thank you. I appreciate you saying that. I've been very, very blessed, as we all know, with some unbelievable players for a long period of time, and I've never had a rebound, assist, a bucket. So, when coaches get any type of accolades, it's maybe, there's a place for a coach, that's for sure, for culture and discipline and things, but I can't think of a more overrated deal of awards for coaches, because it's player driven and have some great players, and so all thanks to a bunch of great players over the years.
You've been fortunate with players, but again, I think you've been fortunate with assistant coaches too. And something about you, I don't know what it is, but they're very loyal. I mean, you've had guys on your staff for a while, and it's hard to keep them because they're either going to go somewhere or they just get tired of doing it or whatever. But you've always had, and they've always seemed to be there. And Michael was with you for years and years, and so before he became a head coach. So I guess you tip a cap to them as well, I guess.
Well, I got the best staff in America. And that's not just saying that. Isaiah Phillips, our associate head coach, I don't know if there's anybody I've ever had anywhere that I've been around with more complete strengths, player relations, basketball, organizational skills, just the gamut for a basketball program, and then Kurt Bell, I mean, head basketball coach, probably the best basketball program in our country at Newcastle High School. Played for and worked with, the best, like I say, the best program in the country. So and worked for and played for Sam Alford. So, I try to surround myself around guys that know more than me and are better than me and bring talents I don't have. And I think you can do that collectively. You're gonna have a lot of things covered for your program. And also we want guys that love the game and players that love the game. And we're not for everybody, but when you have that, I think you can get some consistency and some continuity and some toughness and some togetherness. And we've been very fortunate with our staff and our players to do that.
You said something interesting right there, and I pick up, and I think that's the key to your success so much. You can't have an ego. You've got. You want people that know more than you. I mean, I think that's interesting that you said that because, a lot of coaches might be intimidated by that, but you don't care. I mean, you want them to. That's what makes the whole team successful.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I'm trying to grow and learn every day, and what a better place from your guys that are most invested and care the most. And the only thing that we ask is our players be loyal to our staff, and our staff be unbelievably loyal to our players, and we have that. And we have that kind of trust. You wouldn't really want to put guys in positions that whatever's best for our team, and I'm very fortunate with that with our staff.
You and I go back a long way, and a lot of people don't realize this, but when I was at Laverne, you took a lot of our players. Rod sent them to you, and boy, you had some great years there too. And I think a lot of people forget that Laverne history, but you really had some great teams there.
Oh, it was unbelievable. I'm telling you what, it was absolutely unbelievable. The run we had there, and how so much fun sort of growing that program. It was pretty new, 8 years, in when we got there, and just so much fun.
You have good memories of that.
Don't you?
And I do too. Yeah.
I really think the Whites Creek Laverne sectional game was the best. I mean, I shouldn't say the best. I mean, so many great games. I was at a Oakland Baylor game with Coach King, in one of the most unbelievable sectional games I've ever seen. It was unbelievable. Two great teams going at it, and there's been so many other really good games. But that sectional game with Whites Creek, the talent on that floor with Whites Creek 5 Division I players. Matter of fact, I signed DeMonte Harper 2 years later at Morehead State, and a lot because of that game. And our players with Chris Darden, Antoine Coger, Josh Klaus, Joey O'Day, Theron Hudson, and Nathaniel Green, Ronnie Hickman. I could go on. And Nate Hancock. It was unbelievable talent and tough guys. And I share. I'm a big guy. We really talk about our former players in our program, and of course, we talk a lot about our former Blackman players to our guys now. And I think our guys in the program know that they're going to be those guys here in a couple of years when our younger guys coming in. So we'll talk, can't wait to be bragging on the Christian Johnsons and his toughness and character, and the Garrison Edie's and Dyson Elams to the next group that comes. So it's a process, but when you have those things, and I just love those guys, and me and Lloyd and a couple of those Laverne guys play golf now. They got great families, and Jamie Stat. So it's awesome. Those years were awesome, and I maybe took it a little bit for granted in that deal. I was trying to be the next coach of North Carolina at the time, so I was so passionate and so working at it. But it was so fun, and I can't believe some of the things those guys put up with me with. But we had a great relationship, so you can make some of those mistakes. But it was awesome.
Antoine Coger and Chris Darden, they bring back names. What not only good basketball players, but what tremendous individuals. I mean, they were. I'm trying to think. Chris Grimes, I think too, and and you as a coach, you get fortunate to get those kind of guys, and Garrison Edie, and the names go on and on. I love to see Juwan Jennings out there catching footballs for the 49ers. I mean, that's unbelievable that because you can relate to that guy. I said, I know him. It's wonderful.
It is so cool. We've had so many guys be successful. And you start throwing out names, you feel uncomfortable because you'll leave somebody out. Lonnie
There's
Thompson.
That pitcher, that is a left-handed pitcher from Blackman too.
Yeah,
Price guy.
was pretty good. But me and Lonnie stay in touch, and Darius's career has been unbelievable overseas. And what he's done, and the career he's had, and it makes the great game of basketball. Get a great life for him, and so many other guys. Nate Nelson's up and working in in Washington, D.C., one of the best law firms in the country. I could go on and on.
I know.
Great game of basketball is done for so many kids at Blackman, and will continue to do because of the great culture in the school, and it prepares them so well. So it's just so fun to see kids succeed.
I wish we could have a show sometime where we're not talking about a game per se. We're talking about history and life lessons and that kind of thing. You've been a part of all of that.
No doubt.
All right. Well, we're talking to Barry Wertman. I got to get to some games here. Barry, it's kind of I don't hate to say two-man race, two-team race, but it kind of is at this point. You had a big game. We were there on Thursday night, and it seemed to me that things have kind of, I don't want to talk out of turn here, but it seems to me that things have kind of come full circle with you guys. You've been through some injuries, but Garrison, Edie being back and playing as well as he's playing, I think he's playing better than I've ever seen him in terms of shot selection, when to take the shot, and lead this offense.
Well, Blackman High School has been called Point Guard U, and I don't have to go through all the great point guards we've had in the last 14 years. It's been unbelievable. And that 4-game that youngster had on Thursday night, and his play and his toughness and his rebounding down and his leadership. And, our team has sort of changed its personality. We've changed a little bit about who we're playing and how we're playing, and boy, that can be a challenging, and the leadership that comes from that. And he's had our whole entire team did a nice job. Had a really honest and brutal film session after Siegel, your team can go a couple of different ways, and you got to have good leadership there. But back to his 4 games, phenomenal, and played really well against Siegel as well. So when you get good point guard play, and like you said, not just the entire body of work and how you play that game. His pace is getting better, understanding how to play. He's always been a great, tough on-ball defender, and he rebounds down. So you have you have credibility with your guys that you're playing on both ends of the floor. So it was a really good game by all of our guys. I thought it's the best we played in 2 years. I think it started second half. We had 13 turnovers since Siegel in the first half and made some mistakes. Couldn't get the scout in the game. I don't think our team was right and connected as much as we should be. Second half, we played with 1 turnover, and then on Thursday night, we played with 3 turnovers, which is the low for 3 years for this group. And when you don't turn it over, you get 18, 19 more possessions in a game. You're going to score it more, and you're going to play better, and you give yourself a much better chance to win. And we have some young guys that are really coming on and doing some great things.
I want you to talk about that.
Well, it really is. I mean, at Keller Jackson, and Jalen McDonald are 2 guys that we thought, boy, they would be nice pieces to our team. We got a veteran team coming back. And boy, they could just grow at their own pace, and through some injury and just their advancement and their development, their play, it's been phenomenal, and it's changed our team. And we've gone from not being able to score around the goal and not defend around the goal to probably being elite rim protection and defending around the goal. And then we're getting it in the goal and we're getting the foul line a lot more. So it's changed our team, and it's allowed some other guys that are probably can just play with a little bit more to their strengths and not have to have a bigger role. And I think. That's helped our team a little bit. We'll see. We can talk. But consistency is what makes basketball teams good from really good, and we'll see if we can continue to be consistent. But can't wait. We're getting to practice for here at 9:30, and we're really going to get after it, and we'll just get to see who can be consistent today.
I want to mention Saffold came off the bench, and he's such a solid player. I mean, he's not going to probably lead your team in scoring, but he's going to have big games.
Well, I tell you what, Trey Saffold is tough, and we value toughness. We have 5 core values to our program, and after being a great teammate, we reward toughness. And he is a tough kid. He defends. He does a lot of things. He supports the ball 1 or 2 passes away better than anybody in our program. He gets scouts in the game when he doesn't. He knows it, and he's mad. He's kicking rocks about it, and that's allowed him to play on our team, and our guys know the value, and our coaching staff knows the value, and he's now a little bit able to play to his strengths a little bit more, and that's. But he's always. You're right. I appreciate you saying that. We reward toughness, and he's a tough kid.
And having McDonald and Keller with Johnson, that kind of gives everybody a little breather. It's not like running down the floor. I mean, it's really added to your depth a lot.
Well, we were for 2 years sort of small ball, and everybody's playing with no centers and no little point guards. Basically, they're playing with 6'4s and 6'8", the college level, and us playing with 5'10s to 6'3s. and everybody shooting it with an empty post, and and really that's what we did for a year and a half with Christian sort of being the one guy 4-round-1, and these guys have come on, and we're sort of a throwback now, and we've changed our personnel of our team in about a month, and we're having to adjust to that a little bit, but it's helped our team, and we'll see if we continue on. But you're right, that's 3 frontline guys, and that's a great rotation. There's some fouls to give, and it's completely changed our team in returns to scoring it around the goal and being able to be more physical around the goal.
Well, I'm sorry I talked so much about yesteryear, but I'm going to keep you over just a minute here. You got Riverdale at home on Tuesday, and then Rockvale at Rockvale on Thursday night. They're playing pretty well, Rockvale, and that's one you got to watch too. Both of those teams, I think in this district, I don't care what the records are, you can't take anybody for granted, because if somebody has a hot night, you could be in trouble.
Well, we talk and preach, and we want to hammer that home that, man, every game has its own personality. When you get in league play, it doesn't matter. You can just pop on, whether it's college basketball or high school basketball. Guys know each other, the personalities, and if you don't do a good job, and I think that's where your staff and does come into play. You got to make sure guys are grounded and locked in. If you see that they're not locked in, you got to do everything you can. But these games are hard in the second, and then if you're playing them a third time, they're even harder. And we've talked about that in the past, so I feel like I'm just echoing myself. But maybe I'm talking to my team a little bit here. Every game is so challenging in regards to playing people 2 and 3 times, and so we'll hopefully that our team will be mature enough to understand that.
Barry, I could talk to you for another hour, but I got to let you go. But good luck this week. It's going to get down to the nitty gritty. It's pretty tight up there at the top, and. Are you going to be around for 600 more? Are you predicting that you can go that long?
Hey, I tell you what, the still old Don Meyer deal. He said he would wake up in the morning, look at the paper and the transactions, and see if he wasn't fired, he'd come back another day. That's going to be my plan from here on out. Hey, John, real quick. I'll be real quick. I love it's so awesome, all the things our Blackman program has done and our guys have done. I'm so humble and appreciative and thankful for those guys. But just a shout out to you. Those Laverne kids, man, they loved you. And they spent so – it was a different era in relationships with administrators and kids. Those kids, and it was so cool. The relationship that they had with you, and I just want to tell you that you had such an impact on those guys' lives.
I appreciate you saying that. They were good kids. I didn't have to do too much, that's for sure. Barry Workman, our guest here, and I'm going to let it go, and we're going to turn it over to Brian Barrett. This portion of the show brought to you by Prentice Allsup Heating and Air. Family owned and operated since 1977. Get the best service with Prentice Allsup Heating and Air online at PrenticeAllsup.com.
Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance takes great pride in treating local athletes here in Rutherford County. Experts in joint, bones, and muscles. And with over 65 specialists, TOA has a playbook to get you back in the game. To request an appointment, visit TOA.com or call 855-NEED-TOA. Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance. TOA. Live your best life.
How about a fix for your sweet tooth? Donut Country is open 24 hours a day to cure your cravings. They've been serving up the freshest donuts in Murfreesboro since 1978. There's just something different about donuts from Donut Country. Bo and Cindy Davis and their wonderful staff will greet you with a smile, and you'll see all donuts aren't created equal. Fresh donuts anytime you want them, 24/7 at Donut Country on Memorial down from Clark. And they're open each morning on Middle Tennessee Boulevard. Check out their Facebook page for specials and promotions. Nothing else compares to Donut Country. Open 24 hours.
Quick, convenient, efficient. 3 words that we all hope to experience when we do business. Our goal at JHA Company is to bring just that to an industry that's traditionally dictated to the customer when it's time to do business. Whether you're purchasing class pictures in a yearbook, class jewelry, a letter jacket, school spirit wear, or senior graduation products, we strive to make the experience quick, convenient, and efficient. Find out more at jhacompany.com. JHA, your one source for an unparalleled scholastic experience.
This is a paid legal ad.
You've probably heard it a million times. If you're injured, call a lawyer. And you probably haven't because you don't know how much it will cost, how long it will take, or even if you have a case. At the law offices of John Day, we provide a free initial consultation because we understand that folks don't want to pay a lawyer only to find out they don't have a case. If you think we can help, we do so on a contingency basis, which means we only get paid if you do. Seriously injured? Call me, John Day.
Hello, this is Coy Young at Las Casas Feed Supply. We'd like to welcome you to our door.
Whether you have a quarter acre or several, Las Casas Feed Supply has premium feeds and dog foods you can't find in box stores.
Nutrition is our specialty here at Las Casas Feed.
Plus, every Saturday morning they have a local producer-only farmers market with fresh vegetables, beef, pork, and more.
Customer service expertise that exceeds your expectations.
Family owned and operated by Coy and Jennifer Young, Las Casas Feed Supply on Barlow Lane, just off Highway 96 East in Las Casas.
Your 401k is likely one of your most important assets, but it's only one part of a comprehensive retirement strategy. Edward Jones can help you understand how your retirement assets fit into your entire retirement picture so that you can work toward meeting your unique retirement goals. Contact me, Lee Colvin, your Edward Jones financial advisor in the Public Shopping Center on South Rutherford Boulevard, or give us a call at 615-907-7056. Edward Jones, Making Sense of Investing, member SIPC.
The Prentice Alsop Heating and Air Coaches Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's Murfreesboro on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at WGNSSports.com.
We are back on the Coaches Show, brought to you by JHA Company. That's Josh Houston and Associates. Jewelry, letter jackets, yearbooks, graduation products, photography, and more. That's JHAcompany.com. Time to talk some Laverne boys basketball this morning. Tony Rutland joins us here in studio. And Coach, the theme before you got here, everybody was kind of talking about the district and then talking about the region. And since it's Boys Week, there were lots of high accolades coming from the other coaches about your team. And, I tell you what, boys are playing well for you right now.
They are. We got to get more consistent, but I like what I see. And, we just got to grow every day. And, I tell my guys I don't want us to peak it too early. It's a marathon, not a sprint. So if we can get everything going at the right time, you just never know it can take off. And, we just keep going up and down. And I just want to make sure that we're learning and we steadily go up.
Does it make it more difficult when you're playing so many games that creates that roller coaster, or does that help you create some, stability and moving in an upward trajectory?
Yeah, I think last couple of years the schedule has been on me, and I want to give a big shout out to Coach Carter because I think this year's schedule has been real tough on the girls, and they're young and they're still playing through it. And I know sometimes it gets frustrating, but for us, it was really demanding, and it helps us. We had a tough schedule, and as far as conditioning and going through it, the guys can rebound, less practice, and more adjustments for game-like decisions and strategies. So. The more games you play, I guess the guys are really learning tough games. I really enjoy playing tough games because it's a learning curve. One, the guys see where they stand when it comes to other great teams, and two, let's see. You can't go by the last game. That's over with. You got to move on and learn.
Well, not only did you have a tough non-district schedule, the district has been pretty grueling, and Cookeville handed you your only loss, and Cookeville last night, they were taken to the brink by Stewart's Creek. Yes. And, that just kind of goes to show you how tight this region is, really 1 through 3 especially.
It is. And, we traveled to Cookeville after we played Lebanon on Tuesday, and, took a long trip to Cookeville, went through 3 accidents, and, and I talked to the guys, and, that loss is pretty much on me. I don't think I prepared the guys as much as I needed to. So on, Thursday, we watched a lot of film, and I tried not to go over that game because we had a game on Friday, but, I just realized a lot of things that I expected my guys to know. They didn't, and when we were going over film, I said, hey, that's my fault. I realized, because sometimes as coaches, we get caught up into the moment, we get caught up into the film, and we go right into the scout, not understanding that, hey, we might have to go back to basics.
There's some teachable moments here,
it's
right?
Very, very, not only for the players, but for the coaches. So, with these guys, we're with them all the time, but you always have to go back to the basics every day. And, you can't – I'm still thinking like college where, hey, once we're in, we're on to the next scout, this and that, and we forget about the basics. And sometimes we get caught up into that. So it was I take that loss, and I think the guys really gravitated, and we moved on to the next game, which was against Smyrna yesterday.
Well, and kind of to parlay along with that, you've got a group of guys, and they're not on the same level with basketball IQ.
Yes.
So, maybe there needs to be a little more here or there, but that's just all part of being an educator, period, isn't it?
It is. And we're with them. I mean, we're not parents, but we are per se, because we're with the kids all throughout the day. And then on top of that, after school, we have them practice. But, you have a whole bunch of different characteristic guys, that football players who come and play in basketball, and sometimes we play by the scoreboard instead of just playing our game. So when they see a big lead, they want to go out there and they break the plays and they want to score, and it causes different runs, which a game of basketball is different runs.
Well, pretty good week this week for Dante White as well. He had 19 last night, and I think on Wednesday scored 13 in the loss to Cookeville. He landed Bryant.
Yes.
Landon had 18 last night, and let's see, I just had it there. He had 23 in the Cookeville game.
Yeah, Landon's always going to be steady. One thing about any of my players, they're probably not going to be a guy who averaged 20 to – I'm not going to say like Dean Smith where he holds guys back. But, with us, if we're beating a team or anything like that, I always want to get guys game experience. And unfortunately for Landon and Dante, those are the guys that I kind of take out. Like last night, our leading scorers with either 18 and 19, one of them each, and they didn't play the whole fourth quarter. So I know they get frustrated, but, again, we still respect the game. And
could have been a 25 to 30-point game. Yeah.
And so, at the end of the day, it's not about the individual accolades. It's more of a team thing. They had a great time. We were able to get guys who normally don't play, who practice hard, and get a lot of minutes. So, I commend them for still being a great team player and allowing them to play, other teammates to play.
Laverne coach Tony Rutland joining us this morning, and that's awesome that it's a game that can be individual, but I know coaches preach team, and that's a hard dynamic sometimes to especially for young guys who have so much talent and really want to display that, and that's a great growing opportunity for them.
It is, and it makes the game fun. Everybody works hard in practice, and unfortunately, I mean, as a coach, some players who work harder than the main guys don't get to show their talents during the game. So they were able to get their play in front of a great crowd for both ends last night. I tell you, just playing at home is a big advantage. When we played at Cookeville, it was tough. I don't think we had maybe 20 fans on our side, but we hope Tuesday, we can change that and show, hey, we can bring a crowd as well. So it'll be a good game. I think Tuesday and Friday I think it'll be real good crowds.
And no bus rides.
No bus rides.
Well, let's kind of look ahead to the week because, right now second in the district, but Coach, this is maybe the most important week. I guess the week that's ahead of you is the most important week, but in terms of who you have to play, this is a really biggie with Cookeville Tuesday, Stewart's Creek Friday.
It is, and, depending on the outcome, one thing about younger guys, you don't want them to look ahead and, I think if we take one game at a time, we'll start with Cookeville, go back over our mistakes that we had in the first game, adjust some things. I think our game plan against them last week was really good. And we just got to tweak it a little bit. And hopefully on Friday when we play Stewart's Creek, I don't know what it is about Stewart's Creek. I think it's because I was there, but they always play hard when we play them. So hopefully we'll match the intensity or be higher than what they bring.
And here's one thing about that Stewart's Creek deal. If I have the schedule right, you play them on Friday and then turn around and play the makeup game with them on Monday.
Yeah, and it's always hard to beat a team twice, let alone, in a tournament. But to play them back-to-back, short adjustment, sometimes, that's one thing you got to do is like, hey, you can't adjust, you can't tweak nothing because it's a short period of time. And, hopefully we'll be able to play and bring the intensity twice.
I guess one thing that it could do, you put your scout together and here's Stewart's Creek, and then you could just build on that and tweak that for the very next game. There's not a whole lot that you have to change.
That's right. And, after Friday, then you have Saturday, Sunday, and you turn around. So it won't be a lot of rest because, again, you're going to tweak in a short period of time the adjustment. So it'll be a lot of shooting and maybe a little bit of adjustments.
Got Wilson Central and then Smyrna again, and that it will wrap up the regular season here in the next 2 weeks. And it's hard to believe, but we'll be talking tournament here pretty quick. And I think you all have, if I remember right, the honor of hosting the district.
We will, and again, it's always a great thing to host something like that. It's my first. Since being at Laverne, so I think it's been a while since Laverne hosted a district or region. I think we were supposed to host a region, but it was COVID year. But so we're excited, and I think we'll show a lot of other teams how we can host and hopefully in the future host some tournaments.
Coach, appreciate your time this morning, and congrats on the week. And I know you've got a busy 2 weeks ahead, and we look forward to actually being at Laverne on Friday night for your game with Stewart's Creek. The girls and boys games will be on the radio and streaming on Friday.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it. That's Laverne coach Tony Rutland joining us here on The Coaches Show, which is brought to you by Edward Jones, financial advisor Lee Colvin, who will work with you to develop a complete, tailored strategy to help you achieve your financial goals. That's Edward Jones, financial advisor Lee Colvin.
Rely on the experienced professionals at Prentice Allsup Heating and Air.
If your old unit needs a tune-up, the professionals at Prentice Allsup Heating and Air service all major brands and even offer same-day service in most cases. Keep your home or business comfortable year-round. Call us today at 615-890-1311. Prentice Allsup Heating and Air, your Rheem Pro partner heating and cooling contractor on West College Street, just under the Thompson Lane overpass. Online at PrenticeAllsup.com.
When Rutherford Countyans think of insurance professionals, they think Rayburn Insurance Agency at 200 South Lowry in Smyrna, meeting the needs of thousands of customers since 1973. You can trust Rayburn Insurance with all your needs, a place where customer service really matters. It's personal with Rayburn Insurance, as fans of local sports, as friends, and as insurance professionals. Check them out at rayburn.net or call 615-459-4145. Rayburn Insurance, for business, auto, home, and life insurance.
Head over to J. Mullins Jewelry to check out their selection of rings, watches, custom design jewelry, and much more. They're a local business located at 352 West Northville Boulevard right here in Murfreesboro. They have gifts for all occasions, weddings, graduations, anniversaries, whatever you need, you can find it at J. Mullins Jewelry. That's at 352 West Northville Boulevard or online at mullinsjewelry.com.
Craig's Tax Service.
We perform tax preparation, individual tax returns, corporations, partnerships, and all your payroll bookkeeping needs.
Brett Craig with Craig's Tax Service.
Craig's Tax Service is located just off Memorial on Heritage Park Drive. You can contact us at 890-2233.
It makes sense to get help with your taxes. Call 890-2233 for an appointment.
We are proud to support all Rutherford County student athletes.
Craig's Tax Service, 890-2233.
This is Primetime Sports, WGNS Murfreesboro, on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at WGNSSports.com. The Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's Murfreesboro, on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at WGNSSports.com.
We're back here on the Coaches Show, brought to you by the law offices of John Day, providing superior legal representation to injury victims and their families. More online at johndaylegal.com. Dyron Birdwell joins us, the head coach of the Oakland Patriots. And, Coach, it seems like even broadcasters here coming in this morning and all the coaches, it's kind of dragging. This has been a long weekend.
Yeah, for sure, with the week off of snow, and then we have about 2 days of practice, and then we've played 3 games in 4 days and just not played very well. And like you said, dragging, trying to find answers, trying to get ready to play come district tournament time, and it's coming up on us pretty quick. I guess 2 weeks from today will be our district meeting, and then we'll start the tournament on Tuesday.
And not only that, but I'm sure that someone at Oakland High is getting ready for a long few weeks of hosting both district and region.
Yeah, for sure. We've got both this year. Having to organize everything and make sure we've got our I's dotted and T's crossed, and got everything set up and ready to be a good host for the rest of the district, and obviously the region the week after for the semis and the championships.
Well, this being a 3-game week, and it's not like you had cupcakes on the schedule either, and your non-district game was Upperman, and boy, they are a really good basketball team, aren't they?
Yeah, they're solid. They shoot it well. They've got really good shooters. We went up there early December, and I think they went 10 of 19 from 3. And so our kind of scouting report and key was try to make sure we got out on those shooters, and we did a decent job with that. I think we only held them to 4 threes, but then they've got the big kid, the quarterback, his name escapes me right now, inside, and they pounded it inside on us, and I think he had 20. And we definitely looked like a team that hadn't played in 9 days or 10 days, however many it was before, and just offensively that night we were missing shots, had opportunities to kind of hang around, and then just couldn't put the ball in the basket in the first half, and it kind of gets away from you, and we didn't really give ourselves a chance to win in that one.
Yeah, that layoff can be good, can be bad. You just really don't know until you get back out there on the floor.
Yeah, you're right. I thought that the week before we played Rockville at Rockville and Siegel at Siegel, and I thought we played the 2 best games we've played all year. Played hard, competed, made shots, tried to defend. May not have defended the best, but at least we're giving 100% effort. And then, since we've been back, I just don't think that's the case, and that's on me to get the kids to buy into playing a little harder and being in the right spots defensively. But it just we gotta keep working, and that hopefully, basketball is such a tournament-driven sport. Hopefully, between now and the next 2 weeks, we can get it to click and be playing our best basketball here in 2 weeks.
Well, you took the district leader right now, Siegel, to overtime, and you had 2 overtime games that week, didn't you? Yeah,
we've had 3, I guess, this year. Those 2 in York, so I think that's the most I've ever had in 1 year. But well, I mean, there's definitely points where if we play pretty well, it looks like we're good enough to compete with the upper echelon of teams on our schedule. But then there's other times where we just have lulls, and the Blackman game the other night, I think I heard 9% in the third quarter, and just can't get the ball to go in, and some of that is to me got to get them in a better spot, but also some of it is kids got to trust their shot and come in and knock it down. And everybody, that it's 100% fact. I still believe that defense and rebounding can win games and championships for you, but if you can't put that ball in the hole, then it kind of kind of defeats the purpose. It's, I guess, kind of like in golf. If you can, putting and short game will help you win tournaments, but if you can't get off the tee box, you don't have much of a chance, and that's kind of how I feel like we're at right now.
Well, there are not many 1-0 basketball games, you know.
Exactly, yeah.
And and offensively, sometimes that can be contagious when one person isn't, hitting others. It just kind of someone else feels like they have the pressure to try to take over the offense, and then that's not working, and it kind of becomes like a virus going around.
Yeah. I told our guys even after the game last night with Rockville, Rockville played really well, especially first quarter. They jumped out on us and kind of punched us in the mouth, and we couldn't respond. But they they had a couple guys make a shot or two, and then, like you said, it became contagious. I think they made 5 threes in the first quarter on us. And then, with our guys, it can kind of become the opposite, like you just said. And then I don't think they're meaning to be. They may be, but then we have some selfish tendencies of like, I've got to go get it all back.
Mm-hmm.
And so then we put our head down and we start just jacking it up and taking bad shots. And then then that kind of adds on, because if you try to do it yourself in basketball, that leads to turnovers, that leads to bad shots and missed shots, and then run outs and transition layups for the other team, and it it just hurts to frustration, I guess, as a coach to see that at times. But we're we've got to keep working and try to get that out of them and keep trying to get better every day.
Dyron Birdwell's with us, the head coach of the Oakland Patriots, and 3 bad offensive possessions can turn into 7, 8, 9 points for the other team too, and that kind of can put them on the roll, and that seems to be what I've seen happen with your team. It just, when it snowballs, and it's hard to stop that, in the moment.
Yeah, and especially when, we're still kind of trying to find, in my opinion, kind of a go-to guy.
Mm-hmm.
And, like I'll look out there and try to figure out, some nights it's, Avery Carter's playing well, or some nights it's Isaiah Verge, or, it could be, Jaden Loper, it could be Brian Haggard, or freshman, and, you're like, okay, who do I need to call a play for to try to get us out of this slump? And then it just kind of adds on, because somebody will take a bad one or a quick one, and then it, like you said, it just gets worse. And right now we've just got to, start trusting each other a little more, playing better team offense. And even defensively, I felt like we kind of did the same thing last night defensively. Rockville comes out and makes a few shots, and it's like, well, I got to stop my guy. And then somebody gets beaten. We have no help side defense. And that's, it's frustrating. It's things that we've coached and we'll continue to coach, but we've got to, obviously demand more for those guys to play a little better come Tuesday and Friday nights. And I guess Monday night this upcoming week.
I guess that's true. You have to also take into account that the other team has watched so much film on you, and they know what your tendencies are. And, if it's Isaiah, for instance, that they know going into that game, they probably saw his highlights from the Siegel game, for instance, and the opposing coach is going to do what he can to keep him from doing that. I mean, that's a whole part of the game. And so, there are always ebbs and flows in it. And sometimes I think basketball players just think it's I'm going to go out there and do my, it's a game of strategy, really.
It is. There's times where, I've told our guys that I feel like we go out there and play like we'd go play at Sportscom or Patterson. Just kind of a pickup game look, and basketball is so much more than that, and it's got to, you got to be able to take a scouting report, but not only take a scouting report and then execute it, and understand that, last night we say, hey, Cotton can really shoot it, and he's been shooting it well, and we don't give up any threes, and we give up 2 to him in the first quarter. And then that gets him going. And then, everybody else is like, well, man, our guys kind of making shots, I can make a couple, and then it just kind of, Cliff spaces it out, and, they played really well, and we've got to start doing that a little better. We've got to make a couple shots, and then that person has to trust others to make their plays instead of just trying to go in and do it all himself.
Well, Coach, I don't know if you could have drawn up a tougher week coming up here. You play your two biggest rivals back-to-back. You've got Riverdale on Monday in a makeup game. Then you've got Siegel on Tuesday. And then you turn around, and on Friday you play Blackman. And if I have this right, are they all at your place?
Yeah, it was crazy just kind of how the schedule worked out. And then with the snow, we've got we had 4, obviously district home games this year, and all 4 within a week. We had our first one last night, and then we've got the other 3 next week, Monday, Tuesday, Friday. So, yeah, big opportunity for us. We've got to hopefully come out and try to defend our home court, and we'll have practice Sunday, and we've got to, cut some of the things out that we've been doing that are causing us to lose, and, not only lose, but causing us to not really give ourselves an opportunity to win and have a chance to compete in the fourth quarter, and then, be ready to try to defend our home court and get a couple wins and move forward this week.
Well, and that's the thing about it, especially with Monday and Tuesday back-to-back. There's not a whole lot of adjustment time. Are you going to kind of put in a few things on Sunday for both of those games, or how do you handle that?
A little bit, yes, but also, we've got to just we've got to get better at what we're doing, and that's the frustrating part is, seeing guys that are still not in help side or still not sharing the ball, this time of year. We've got to coach them better, and that starts with me, and I've got to get them in better positions to be successful.
Dyron, thanks for coming in this morning. We will be at your place on Tuesday, so looking forward to coming out for the game with Siegel.
Yeah, awesome. Thank y'all.
All right, Dyron Birdwell joining us this morning on the Coach's Show. Brought to you by Lascassas Feed Supply, locally owned and operated by Coy and Jennifer Young, specializing in animal feeds, premium pet foods, farm supplies, and more.
Dr. Automotive is the cure for your car. Brothers Danny and Randy Brewer have been providing Rutherford County with ASE certified auto repair for nearly 20 years. You'll receive courteous and friendly customer service every time. Why? Because we grew up here and you are our neighbors. Foreign and domestic auto repair and maintenance on Hazelwood Drive in Smyrna, just off I-24. SmyrnaAutorepair.com, 615-220-0971. Just ask for Danny.
Meet Little Caesar's Thin Crust Pizza with toppings all the way to the edge and a crispy crust.
I love you, Cindy.
Sorry, but that commercial voice guy was right. I only love thin crust.
Ouch, Billy. Put on your fancy pants and sashay into Little Caesar's for the Fanceroni Pepperoni. With over 100 crispy old-world pepperoni and cheesy crust edge, you'll be saying fancy words like indubitably or crochet. Walk in and walk out for only $9.99.
Little Caesars in Murfreesboro on Memorial, Warrior Drive, South Rutherford, and Old Fort.
Pizza, pizza.
Parks Auction. We handle everything.
Whether you're buying or selling a home or whether you're buying or selling commercial property, the auction is just so much easier, quicker, smoother.
My wife and I sold our personal home. Parks Auctions helped us with that. The house brought about 20% more than we were going to ask for.
Visit our website at parksauction.com to learn more.
Hi there, 12 and a half now, $15.
Stan Vaught and the Parks Auction team are proud supporters of local high school and MTSU sports.
You've heard people say, you know your work by your name, but there's no better name for residential and business concrete work than Dan France Concrete. From basic slabs to decorative stamping, for your next concrete project, call Dan France Concrete, 615-642-5152.
This is Dan with Dan France Concrete, wishing all Rutherford County student athletes a great season. Study hard, play harder, and be safe.
Trust me, Dan is committed to the community and will offer you a great product. He'll stand behind his work and make sure you're satisfied with every aspect of the work. Dan France Concrete.
The Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's Murfreesboro on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at WGNSSports.com.
Coach's Show is brought to you in part by Ideas Tees. We'll be happy to help you fulfill all of your imprinted apparel, embroidery, and advertising specialty needs. More online at ideastees.com. It's time to talk Stewart's Creek Red Hawk boys basketball this morning. And the head coach of Stewart's Creek joins us this morning, Matt Bradshaw. Coach Bradshaw, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Doing well. Good to have you here. And last night you had took the district leader Cookeville into overtime last night.
Yep. Well, we did some good stuff, especially just kind of keeping ourselves. I think we were down 4 at half, and then they kind of would just push it and stretch to 8, and we cut it back. We did a great job in the fourth quarter, kind of keeping ourselves in the ball game. I think we cut it to 2, and they made a free throw down the stretch and went 3. And Taj Roseberg hit a 3 with about 7 seconds to go. We played defense, and they're good. They're a good basketball team. They shoot the ball extremely well. Their guards are really good. Got decent size, and they play well together. I think they have like 7 seniors. They're a good, solid group. I was proud of our guys. We kind of let one slip away from us on Tuesday night, and then bounced back on Thursday on the road, and I thought we played really well, and I thought we kind of continued playing well last night. Just couldn't piece everything together there towards the end, but it's overall I was very pleased with our guys last night.
Well, if you look at the teams within, District 7-4A, on any given night, it seems like any team can compete with the other, and it's just been a wild boys district this year.
Yeah, it's I think you have us, Laverne, and Smyrna, kind of known each other for a long time, and so those are just rivalry games where it really doesn't matter what each other's records are. You just those kids know each other, we're familiar with each other. There's a rivalry there that's kind of been going on for decades, and getting mixed in with a new batch with Lebanon, Wilson Central, and Cookeville. I kind of know those teams because it's kind of the area that I've been from, and we've coached and played, and have coaches that coach for me and played for me that are coaching there, so I know them, but my players don't. And so trying to teach that to them and understand stuff like Wilson Central in their zone the other night, I was like, guys, we can't rep this in practice. There's nothing that we can do. You're just going to have to, trust the scout report, trust what we're doing, trust what you're seeing on film, and go out and execute it. And I thought we did a good job of it. But our district's it does have some parity to it. I think there's definitely, you have Cookeville and Laverne are definitely very talented, and they have a lot of good seniors as far as leaders on the floor for their team. I thought they do a good job as far as playing around those guys. So it just kind of depends on who's going to make some shots that night, who doesn't, make some bonehead plays to kind of shoot themselves in the foot. And I think 1 through 6 can definitely do those things.
We have Matt Bradshaw joining us this morning. He's the head coach of the Stewarts Creek Redhawks. Playing 3 games in 1 week is one thing, but playing on back-to-back nights, how does that, and having to do this on the road, how does that wear on a team mentally maybe?
I don't know if my guys just quite yet, if they understand it. We're inexperienced and still kind of growing and feeling ourselves out a little bit. So I think the emphasis for us was after Smyrna and the home game was to come back out and correct mistakes, and the focus was definitely there. I think last night being at home was a big factor for us as far as just, coming off a back-to-back. At least we got to come home. We didn't have to travel. I thought that helped. And it was an opportunity where we couldn't just overload them with a super detailed scouting report on Cookeville where they had to go out there and they just relaxed and played, and I thought that was beneficial. I think different teams, different maturity levels of different groups, sometimes it can be a plus, it can be a minus. Kind of depends on how many people you play in your rotation, whether, keeping people fresh. We're fortunate right now we don't have any injuries with anybody being banged up or anything like that. I mean, And so it's for us, it's not that big a deal. You know, we get to kind of come back to a regular schedule this week, playing 2 games, kind of get back in a regular practice routine. And so I think that's probably the biggest thing that we've missed out on is that, you know, you take 9 days off of practice and come back in, you try to practice twice and go play somebody. Nobody's in a good rhythm, but, I mean, you know, it does play a factor. So I think getting us back in a routine, getting back on a normal schedule, getting back on a normal school schedule, you know, I think some of that will help and definitely play a factor for us next week.
Sure. Did want to kind of recap this past week a bit, and the game with Smyrna, 74-73. It was at your place. It was quite the atmosphere. You had 3 guys in double figures, and you know those are games that, you know, if you said you're going to score 70 plus points and have 4 in double figures, you expect to win those games, and it just came down to right there at the very end, almost who had the ball last in that one.
Well, I mean, give Smyrna credit. They were, I think, we had them down 11 with about 5 to go, and they made some shots down the stretch. Give them credit on. They definitely made some tough looks and some good shots down the stretch, but we did awful lot of stuff to help them win that basketball game, and I think that was very disappointing on our factor, and then we covered that throughout the week. Just certain things you do in end-of-game situations, and we've managed to not do any of those things correctly. And, you know, as I told the guys, you know, that's what happens when you don't when we don't execute down the stretch, you know, making free throws, value in the basketball, how to play with a lead, not fouling somebody at 93 feet, you know, a lot of different things that we did in that stretch that, you know, you just do not do. And so we managed to do them, and you know, and I told the guys, I said, we can coach these mistakes up and we can learn from them and we can move on. But the thing of it is at some point we have to correct the mistake and not do it again. So
you did have a rebound against Wilson Central, and one thing that I've noticed about this week, Brandon Jamison had double figures all 3 nights, and some other guys for you. J.J. Odom, you mentioned Taj last night with the 15 points in the game, and you've gotten the offensive production out of the guys that are going to have to lead your team to be successful.
Yeah, I mean, we got Brandon's done a good job stepping up the last week for sure. Coming off, he's been kind of finding a little role for us and doing a good job, and he's really been playing well, being a lot more aggressive with the basketball, going to the basket, and so it's been good. You know, Taj and consistency is something that we want to make sure we're kind of emphasizing with him. I thought he did a much better job, Wilson Central, and did a good job last night as well. He just didn't have a very good game against Smyrna, and you know, it's just some of those things sometimes, and learn how to deal with it. Sean's really stepped up and really been playing well for us as well. So JJ, he's one of our senior guys that's been doing a good job as well. You know, and he had a good week this week as far as finding different ways to score, and I was real proud of him this week for doing that. He's kind of gotten a little stretch where he just kind of settled in on shooting some threes when he figured out a little bit different way to score the ball a little bit better and being able to generate some more points for us. So, you know, some of our guys are stepping up, and we got some other guys that we're trying to move along. But the thing of it, I told our guys this week, is that we don't really just have one guy that can go out and do different things. We're a collective group, and it takes all 5 of us working together if we're going to be successful. And so buying into that and continue doing that is something that we're getting a little bit better at. Matt,
the schedule got really messed up during that week off from snow, and you haven't played Laverne yet, and not only do you have to play Wilson Central at home this week after just playing them last week, you're going to play Laverne at Laverne on Friday and then turn around on Monday and host Laverne. So that's back-to-back games, same opponent. That's going to be strange.
Yeah, in fact, we're not the only team in our district is doing. I think Lebanon's doing the same thing with Cookville. it's just one of those things where you only have a certain amount of time to get in a certain amount of games, and when you take a week off and you miss all these games, there's only very few spots to put them, and that's where we kind of us and Laverne kind of in the same boat. So it just worked out the way it did. It's not ideal, but you got to play them.
Yeah, I guess that's true. Got to get them in. We're going to be at Laverne to broadcast the Stewart's Creek Laverne game on Friday, this February 2nd. And Coach, I did want to say before our time gets up, since the last time we had a chance to talk with you here on the radio, I understand your 400th win as head coach, so I wanted to congratulate you on that.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Just have been blessed to have good players, good assistants, and so it's just been something that I appreciate. It's as you get a little older and you appreciate certain things a little bit more often.
Yeah, I can understand that. Coach, again, thanks for joining us this morning, and look forward to seeing the Red Hawks at Laverne on Friday.
Sounds great. Y'all have a good rest of the day.
You too. That is Matt Bradshaw, the head coach of the Stewart's Creek Red Hawks, on the Coach's Show, brought to you by Sir Pizza, whose 3 Murfreesboro locations offer a huge selection of mouth-watering pizzas, sandwiches, pastas, and wings. Order your favorite pizza online at sirpizzatn.com.
Here's a question. What do you want from your electric co-op?
I want expert advice on going 100% solar.
I want to go green without breaking the bank.
I want to meet my sustainability goals.
I want solar to be simple.
Done, 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 done.
I want to save the planet.
Little hero, let's start with one of MTE's solar programs first. Energy Service Life. That's Middle Tennessee Electric. We're here to get done what matters most to you. Learn more at mte.com.
We're talking now with Heather here at Carpets by Osborne. Tell us what it's like to work at a family business.
It's a lot of fun. However, it's a lot of work. Everybody has to pull their weight equally.
What do you think are some of the advantages of people doing business with a family business versus a corporate business?
We are here to answer all questions. We're responsible for scheduling jobs. We're not here to sell you material and pass you off to a list of installers.
Carpets by Osborne on Northwest Broad, next to Tire World. The Blue Raider fan source for officially licensed Middle Tennessee gear is Raider Tees. T-shirts, caps, sweats in all sizes, designs, colors, children's to plus sizes. Raider Tees has decals and license plates to show everyone your favorite team. Plus, check out their wide selection of Blue Raider art, jewelry, even golf tee markers. Show your Blue Raider pride with the largest selection of Blue Raider merchandise anywhere by shopping Raider Tees, 910 Ridgely Road, just before the bridge over Broad behind Chewy's.
The Prentice Alsop Heating and Air Coaches Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's Murfreesboro on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at WGNSSports.com.
Time for more of the Coach's Show this morning, brought to you by Bowen's Body Shop. From dings and dents to full body work, trust Jeff and Kyle Bowen to do the job right. They're located on Middle Tennessee Boulevard. Wendell Ingram is joining us this morning. He is the head coach of the Rockvale Rockets. And, Coach, good morning. It's a nice, pretty sunny day out, right? Oh, yeah, goodness. You're kind of a big day over at Rockvale. You got JV going on out there?
Yes, sir. We got some of our JV guys trying to still fight for that spot next year. You know, we tell them that, you know, what they do in these JV Saturdays determines, you know, if we feel like they're going to be a fit for our program. Because if you can't do well on Saturday mornings, you're not going to help us on Tuesdays and Friday nights.
Yeah.
So.
You know, it hasn't been that long ago that, and still sometimes we went to Blackman. We saw a JV game going on before the girls' game. But the Saturdays just kind of give you the opportunity to get more people together. Not the stress of having a time crunch to get that game in. I guess that helps a lot with JV, and it's become a pretty popular thing to do.
It is. You know, you got a lot of teams who want to play you JV games a lot, and we try not to do JV games when we got to travel like an hour or so away, and it's usually tough logistically. So Saturday mornings allow them to get up, get in the flow of things, play about 2 games and no pressure, not trying to rush referees to get ready for a girls game at 6 o'clock and things like that. And it also helps the referees as up and coming as well to get in there on Saturdays and get evaluated from their head guy to work on some things as well.
Well, this week, successful week for the Rockets. You had 71-51 win over Oakland, and that one on the road, and then a win over Riverdale, 72-45. So you put up 71 and 72 points this week. That's good offensive output.
Yes, sir. That's been kind of our range here the last few weeks. We played Oakland originally, back in before the snow came, and we scored about 72 points as well. And then we played Smyrna, scored about 70 points as well. And we got a team that wants to run up and down the court. That's something that we've been trying to bring ever since I got to Rockville. And it can help you as long as the team that you're playing ain't scoring 70 as well. So if we can keep teams, where we want to keep them at and still score 70, it's going to be a great night for us. And
then there's a team like Blackman who likes to, grind it down. When I think of Blackman, I think of, when those big trucks are going down, and they put on those air brakes.
They do have a way of trying to slow you down, but, we're trying to set the tone where we're going to dictate the way the game is played. As long as the refs is allowing us, we're going to play our game, and you either going to have to drink a lot of water before you play us or use icy hot at the end of the game.
Well, you had, 27 in the first quarter last night against Oakland?
Yeah, that's not typical Rockville this year. We hadn't been able to start off fast from the tip. We've watched film, and we've drilled it in the guy's head a lot more these last couple of weeks. And, I looked up at the scoreboard in the first quarter and 27 points. And I'm like, 27 points, and we only fouled twice. That's pretty good. So
that's your dream game, isn't it?
That's a great game for us. And I think before halftime, I think we already had 2 guys in double digits, so that was good.
Yeah, wound up finishing last night. Malachi Long had 14 for you, 12 points for Daryl Cotton, and there were more that contributed with the 71 last night.
Yeah, guys like Amari Dewberry, he was our lighter fluid, what we call him. He got it started for us. I mean, his defense and the way he got the ball out and found the open guys, and then he hit 2 big threes, and he's a crowd pleaser. He gets the crowd going. Brennan Mayhew, who stepped up really big for us and filled some big shoes for us, and he's playing inspirational basketball right now. And like I said, Malachi and Durrell and Ty Newton, man, you if you can get those guys going early, you got a long night if you're the other team.
Dewberry had 9 steals, 8 rebounds, 5 points in the game versus Riverdale, man, so that's pretty awesome.
He's electric. He's a great kid, man, special kid.
Yeah. You mentioned Brennan, and I really think it says a lot about that kid's character. I mean, he's coming out to play for his school. It's not just he could have very easily not done that,
Man, Brennan is a special kid, man. He going on college visits for football. His season ended quickly because of his injury in football. He could have easily said, "Hey, coach, I'm just gonna focus on getting better." Man, he, like you said, he plays for his school. Big heart, man. We call him Baby Joel Osteen because he does our team prayers, man. And I mean, he could pray for you, man. And next thing you know, you're trying to find out what church you need to be going to the next day. So he's a good kid, man. He plays with heart. I love him, man. He's going to commit today. We're excited about that. He knows where he's going, and man, wherever he goes, he's a program guy first, and everything else second.
Well, I think whoever gets him is going to be very well pleased.
Yes,
have him on the team. You mentioned Ty as well, 22 against Riverdale, so he must have been feeling it.
Bounce back game. He hasn't played since he missed that free throw. Then he told me, he said, "Hey, coach," he said, he still feels like he let us down, but I told him, man, you didn't. You're a great guy. And we had the same situation where it was a tech called, and he looked at me, and I looked at him, and Didn't have to say anything. I put him right back on the line. He knocked both of them down. I don't even think it touched rim. And I want him to know I'm still going to ride for you. You go out there and you do it.
Wendell Ingram is joining us this morning, the head coach of the Rockville Rockets. And this, as we mentioned, we've talked to a lot of coaches this morning who've, had to go through the meat grinder of 3 games. And, in fact, if you had all of the games that were scheduled for you to play and the makeup games, you were going to have to play 4 games. And unfortunately, the non-district game with Eagleville kind of fell victim to that.
Yeah. After admin and our coaches and stuff like that talked, we looked at it, we was going to play 4 games in 5 days. And trying to ask 16 and 17-year-olds to go out there and do that 4 and 5 days, they felt like it was going to be a lot of wear and tear.
They also have to go to school every day, too.
They have to go to school. I don't think it's another blizzard in the forecast, but that's a big ask. And then the following week you're playing 2 more games, then you have district tournaments. That's tough. A lot of them play AAU ball and they play 3 and 4 games a day, but it's different now with wear and tear and, on your bodies. And this district is very, very competitive. So, unfortunately, we got Siegel twice this week and Blackman. So I would have loved to take option B and went with another route, but option A is what it is. Siegel Monday and Friday and Blackman on Thursday.
Yeah, that was definitely my next question, because that kind of adds on to not only playing 3 games in the week, but these are teams that, to finish higher than 3rd in the regular season, you're going to have to sneak out a win here or there.
Yes, sir. I mean, whoever idea that was, man, I don't want them picking my lottery numbers, man. But so, so we got a goal set as a team, man, on looking at these 3 games. And, man, if we can go 3-0 this week, that puts us in a good situation for us, this district. Just to be able to go and get at least 1 win out of this week would be great. But again, our goal is to get all 3, and both teams are hot right now. I mean, Blackman's playing great. Siegel's been playing great all season, and they're 2 of those 3 is going to be at our place, so that's a good thing. We'll get our fans out there and be ready to go.
Yeah, I was just actually looking at that. You've got Siegel at home on Monday, then Thursday, and that's one of your makeup games. The other's on Thursday as you host Blackman, and then you have to go to Siegel on Friday next week. The Blaze, I saw them play this week, and I told Barry, I said, he had some injuries earlier on in the season, and I think that's made him better right now, and they seem to be peaking, and they always seem to be. And he's added some depth, just, I guess, by virtue of the injuries that he's had. So he's playing – his team's playing well down the stretch. Siegel's playing well down the stretch, and I think you guys are as well. You're kind of putting it all together, so this is the time of the year you really want to be doing that.
Definitely, and that's when I talked to you guys earlier in November, December 1, that we play a lot of guys, and that's for reasons like this. Last night we went to our bench early in the second quarter, and, most people would think, well, okay, it's going to be a drop-off, but actually our guys that come in off the bench is probably a little bit more aggressive than our guys who start the game. And that's what we want. Injuries have made us go deeper into the bench, but at the same time, it's been able for us to be able to discover some hidden gems that we had in the gym that we didn't know that they were going to play like that, but they showed us that they can. And, it's something about when those bright lights come on Tuesdays and Friday nights that make those guys come out here and play a little bit harder. So, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be all about who takes care of the ball and who's, in condition, who's in shape and things like that.
Well, I guess you better get a nap today or tomorrow.
I don't know about that. I think I sleep in April.
Yeah. Jennifer Grandstaff said that one time when they just were playing back to back to back to back. And I remember she said, you know what, I can sleep in March after the tournament. So.
Yeah. Monday's gonna be a big night, and all of it. We got them scheduled for homecoming Monday, Siegel's homecoming. So we'll see. Like I said, whoever came up with this idea, man, I don't need the lottery numbers for them guys, man.
Coach, appreciate your time this morning as always, and good luck this week on the 3-game swing here.
Thank you, guys.
That is Wendell Ingram joining us here on the Coach's Show, talking Rockville Hoops. And the Coach's Show is brought to you by Craig's Tax Service, specializing in personal and business tax preparation, financials, and bookkeeping services. More online at craigstaxservice.com.
Pizza. Murfreesboro's favorite pizza is now hiring at all 3 local locations. That's right. We want you to join the Sir Pizza team. Stop in at our East Main, Veterans Parkway, or Memorial Boulevard locations and let us know how you'd like to join the Sir Pizza family. Also, we've made it even easier to order for carryout or delivery. Just head on over to sirpizzatn.com.
Sir Pizza, you made me love pizza again.
Rely on the experienced professionals at Prentice Allsup Heating and Air.
Whether it's the blazing heat of summer or the bitter cold of winter, let the Rheem Pro professionals at Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Conditioning on West College Street keep your home or business comfortable year-round. We service all major brands and in most cases offer same-day service. Call us today at 615-890-1311. Prentice Allsup Heating and Air, your Rheem Pro partner heating and cooling contractor on West College Street, just under the Thompson Lane overpass.
Craig's Tax Service.
We perform tax preparation, individual tax returns, corporations, partnerships, and all your payroll bookkeeping needs.
Brandon Craig with Craig's Tax Service.
We fulfill all your tax preparation needs from individual returns to corporations and handle any of those scary letters you may get from the IRS.
Craig's Tax Service at 142 Heritage Park Drive. Call 890-2233 for an appointment.
We're proud to support all Rutherford County athletes.
Craig's Tax Service, 890-2233.
We're catching up with Anne-Marie Brents at Rick's Barbecue, 212 Warrior Drive, another one of our great local businesses.
Yeah, it's a big family business. Knowing that my grandparents started it, to see it evolve and what it is now, it's just been really cool and I love it. It's just something I'm very passionate about and customers have been great to us as well.
Whether it's a quick meal, feeding the whole family, or catering, Rick's Barbecue can handle it all.
It's really something I'm really passionate about, very blessed and thankful for.
Rick's Barbecue, 212 Warrior Drive.
In Rutherford County, you know how much it means to have neighbors that you can count on. I'm State Farm Agent Ron Reeves, here to help life go right when you combine home and auto insurance. Call me at 615-873-1700. Let me save you money and time.
It's not just your home or car. I'm State Farm Agent Emerson Williams. We see your home and car as the time and memories that you put into it. Give me a call at 615-459-2683 and let me help you give them the protection they deserve.
The Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's Murfreesboro on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at WGNSSports.com.
The Coach's Show is brought to you by Parks Auction Company. Let their team of experienced and professionally trained staff utilize the auction process to sell your property. Find out more at parksauction.com. I'm Danny Brewer. I am extremely pleased to be joined now by head basketball coach for the Siegel Stars, Matt Rigsby. Coach, how are we this morning?
We're good. Good morning. How are you, sir?
Oh, I'm quite well. You know, I mean, it's a wonderful day. I know it may be raining a little bit, but hey, we got basketball going on. It's Pegasus Day at Gulfstream Park today, so we got lots of big stakes races. So, man, I'm super excited about that. But let's talk about something else exciting. The Siegel Stars, 19-2. Now, of course, I'm superstitious as the day is long. But I don't want to jinx it, but 19-2, you got to be happy with that, Coach.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I'm proud of our kids, and if I jinx it, you jinx it. It's not our fault. What goes up must come down at some point. We talk, every other Saturday here about how tough our district play is, and all the great coaches in this area and everything else. So, we'll keep our thing is just keep stacking wins. That's what the guys have kind of took up on, and that's been their rallying cry here lately.
Very good. Okay, so let's talk about something, understanding how to win. Because in today's basketball world, it's different, I mean, I think as far as from, say, 5 years ago, 10 years ago especially, it's different. Do players today understand how to win basketball games, you think?
There is definitely the quote, the basketball IQ. I mean, that definitely comes into play. The biggest thing, I guess, to answer your question, because it's a great question. You caught me off guard. It's too early for this.
Sorry, Coach.
And it's getting the guys over the proverbial hump of, maybe say you have a talented team, or maybe they know they're good and what their capabilities are. Is, they may know it, they may feel it, they may believe it, but they need that first big win to let the light bulb go off. And,
right.
Oh, okay, Coach was right. Or, my teammates were right. We can do this. We can achieve X, Y, and Z. And so that is the hardest part. Now, after they taste it, it gets a little easier. Now they understand how to win just because they felt winning, and they want to keep it that way. And, I know me, at least. I won't speak for other coaches, but I get caught up saying, see, my way works a little bit better than yours sometimes.
Right. Well, you hate to be an I told you so guy, but sometimes you have to say, well, you let the proof be in the pudding.
Right. And it's not that I've got it always figured out 100% of the time. Do not get me wrong, but I only teach what I know. I can tell you that.
Right. And one of the things, I guess, whenever I talk about understanding how to win, sometimes I think players get too caught up in the possession and not necessarily in the game. And I think that can be the downfall of teams. I saw it this week where you can't always think about going down the court and I got to score, but what it takes to win the basketball game I think that is something that maybe has gotten a little bit lost in today's society of basketball.
Well, absolutely. I mean, I'm such a huge free throw guy. When we miss a free throw, it drives me insane. I'm pretty sure I got that from my father because he'd always yell at me if I missed a free throw. Hey, son, they call him free for a reason.
Right.
I mean, that is the opposing team is giving you an opportunity to score unguarded. And when you walk up there to that free throw line unfocused, I don't adhere to that very well. I mean, that's value in a possession. And, we as coaches, we're supposed to be the big picture. What's this, it might be the second quarter. What's the opposing coach going to counter with, coming out in the third quarter or whatever. We're supposed to see that. Obviously, kids don't. And because they're out there running around playing hard. But they don't have to see the big picture. But you mentioned the word possession. Focus on that possession, whether it's offensively or defensively. And we still struggle with that from time to time, to be honest with you. We can waste a possession or two here and there.
Right, and I think that kind of goes without saying it. They are high school kids. But what you want your team to understand is the value of the possession and how that possession can help you win the basketball game, because ultimately that's the goal.
Case in point, big win at Riverdale, road district win last night. We missed 4 dunks, 4 wide open dunks. And that was basically about the only thing I discussed in the locker room postgame. And, say the score was a little closer. Say the score was a little tighter. You wasted 4 possessions.
Right.
That can't happen.
Yeah, because if you get to the rim to dunk, then you could lay it in, and then that's 8 more points.
8. 8's a lot. And that's what I told him. I said, how many games from City League, Junior Pro, through AAU, through since you wore a Seagull Stars jersey, have you lost by 1 point or 2 points?
Right.
8's a lot.
8 is a lot. 8 is a lot. Okay, so when we talk about big picture, let's talk about a kid you have, Carter Webb. I think you've nominated him for Mr. Basketball. Talk about that kid and his big picture.
Correct. Carter Webb, Siegel High School did nominate for Mr. Basketball. I think his statistics and his work ethic shows nominating him was definitely the right choice. So, he had 21 last night. I think he had 21 at Blackman in a big win Tuesday night. So, and that's just, he's averaging 22. He goes out there and he holds his average.
Yeah, so let's talk about the Blackman. You mentioned that game Tuesday night, winning at their place. Of course, they've been the bell cow for this district for a long time. Barry Wortman, 600 wins. All that stuff speaks for itself. Understanding what you're getting into when you go over there, and talk about how proud you are of your team for coming out of there with a victory.
Well, back to the previous conversation about each possession is at a premium. When you're facing a Barry Wortman coach defensive team, you can't be out there jacking ill-advised rush shots, low percentage shots. you better get the best possible outcome out of that each individual possession because they're such at a premium that you possibly can. And so yeah, we were fortunate enough to get out there with a win. It was a grind. It was a great high school basketball game.
When we think about the district, and you mentioned how tough it is, district tournaments coming up, how are you trying to prepare your team? I mean, obviously finishing the district regular season is extremely important, but thinking about what you got coming up too when it comes postseason. Talk about what the message you're trying to send right now.
We were a little out of sorts defensively last night. We played well overall defensively, but a lot of that was my fault. We're back to preparation. We're trying to tweak some things defensively and do some different things. And last night showed we're not ready to do that yet. We just didn't rotate very well out of what we're trying to do. And but you know, this season is such a grind. You know, it's the proverbial marathon, not a sprint. And so it's not like we don't have plenty of time to tweak things and look at things. And, you know, if it doesn't work, sometimes the best place to punt. So, you know, if it doesn't work, fine. But we'll keep hammering, again, these defensive tweaks a little bit and see if they can stick before district tournament time. We don't have much time to see if they can stick, though.
Right. So the defense, obviously, we know the importance of that. Offense is pretty important, too. 5 in double figures last night. Is that right?
Great balance. Absolutely.
Yeah, and so you've got to be happy with that as a coach because when you can spread the wealth, it makes you hard to defend.
This is a fun team to watch in terms of how willing they are to spread the wealth. Sometimes we pass the basketball a little bit too much, quite frankly. And I'm not yelling about that. That's a beautiful thing. These
right.
kids, they love each other. They love playing with each other. They have a great chemistry with each other. And they share the basketball great. I mean, sometimes I just make sure I just sit and hush because of how they're moving the basketball, especially in transition. This is the most fun of a team I've coached and how they pass the ball up the floor in transition.
Because the passing is a critical element that's often overlooked in the game of basketball today, especially people are all about the dribbling between your legs and behind your back and all that kind of stuff. But moving the basketball via the pass, that's the key really to scoring offensively.
Yeah, we don't do it enough in practice, but one of my favorite drills is, you know, whether it's 4-on-4, 5-on-5 or whatever, but you no dribble. You keep dribbling. You have to get a bucket while only passing the basketball. And I need to do it more often, quite frankly. But we have done that often with these guys over the last 3 years, and I would like to think that's helped. But again, the way they distribute the basketball, they're fun to watch.
Talk about the leadership you have on this team. Obviously, you've probably got pretty good leadership.
Absolutely. You know, Mac Moss, he's the quiet leader. He's the proverbial lead by example. I mean, nobody wants to upset Mac. I guarantee you that. Carter's, I've said it on these airways before, Carter's learned to be more vocal and come out of his shell a little bit, and not just be vocal, but be productive with the words he's using. And, you know, Cadence, Melendez, I got to throw Cadence in there, you know, same with Mac. I mean, Cadence is just, he does everything on the court well. Every facet of the game he does well. And he's not extremely vocal, but he plays so hard. Again, who wants to upset Cadence? I mean, you know, you got to look up to that guy,
right?
The way he plays.
Let's talk about what you got coming up, Coach. Obviously, a couple weeks left in the district regular season, so talk about what's coming up for Siegel Stars.
We are at Rockville Monday. That's our snow out. We were fortunate that Friday of the Snowmageddon was our bye, so we didn't have a game. So we only had one to make up, not two. So that was a blessing. So at Rockville Monday, at Oakland Tuesday, and then Rockville at home for homecoming, Siegel Nation. Y'all make sure y'all understand that Friday.
Homecoming, Siegel Nation. Yeah, we like that. So when we think about playing the same team twice in 1 week, does that present any challenges to you, or your thoughts on that?
It's quirky to say the least. I don't know how well I like it, but I also know that there's nothing I can do to control it. I mean, when snow, I can't control the snow and everything. Of course, you know, when you get down to your district play, I mean, everything's so condensed anyway. So what's the difference between 1 week and 2.5, I guess, if, you know, to answer your question.
Yeah, because you still got days in between, and you got a game, and you got an opponent in between too. So you still got that kind of stuff. So, all right, Coach, we appreciate your time. Matt Rigsby doing an excellent job. I mean, 19-2, undefeated in the district. Come on, Coach. Hopefully this isn't jinxing you. Like I said, he's doing great things. And the thing that I love about Siegel basketball is the fundamental aspect of it, man. It's fun to watch for me, So if you want to see some good basketball, get over and see those Seagull Stars. Seagull Nation, get out there Friday night. Coach, appreciate your time. Wish you the best of luck.
Great words, Danny. I appreciate you, sir.
Yes, sir. The Coaches Show is brought to you by Dan France Concrete, a licensed and insured residential and commercial concrete construction contractor serving Middle Tennessee. That's Dan France Concrete.
Hey, it's Brian. I'd like to tell you about my bank, First National Bank of Middle Tennessee. I want a bank where people know your name, say hi, and yes, even give me a sucker sometimes. Every time I go in, everyone's got a smile. Everybody at First National Bank of Middle Tennessee makes you feel so special. You get the hometown feel of a small bank with everything you'd expect from a big bank. Don't get that at yours? Come on over with me to First National Bank of Middle Tennessee on Gateway and Memorial Boulevards. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender. Dr. Russell McKissick of Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance talks about the grassroots effort in our local schools to ensure proper care for players.
To make sure our teams are covered here locally, be there for our trainers. Yeah, it's a passion that we have to try to take care of our athletes here in town and be there just to keep everybody playing as healthy and as best they can.
From a community standpoint, one of the most important things you do at TOA, I'd guess.
I think it's definitely a way to pay back to our community, just to be there for them and watch some great sports too.
Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance, TOA, live your best life.
Quick, convenient, efficient. 3 words that we all hope to experience when we do business. Our goal at JHA Company is to bring just that to an industry that's traditionally dictated to the customer when it's time to do business. Whether you're purchasing class pictures in a yearbook, class jewelry, a letter jacket, school spirit wear, or senior graduation products, we strive to make the experience quick, convenient, and efficient. Find out more at jhacompany.com. JHA, your one source for an unparalleled scholastic experience.
The Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's Murfreesboro on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at WGNSSports.com.
The Coaches Show is brought to you by Little Caesars Pizza, with 4 Murfreesboro locations: Memorial Boulevard, Warrior Drive, South Rutherford Boulevard, and Old Fort Parkway. Get hot and ready pizza from Little Caesars. I'm Danny Brewer. I am joined now by Eagleville head basketball coach David McLaren. Coach, how are we this morning?
We're doing well. Thank you for having me.
Oh, no, happy to have you, Coach. You know, especially an all-star like you, veteran of the game, you know, a friend of Randy Toombs. You know, I feel like I don't do my job if I don't mention my boy Randy Toombs. I know y'all go way back from the coaching days.
Yes, sir, we do.
Okay, so let's talk about enough about Toombs. Let's talk about Eagleville and something really important. The record, 14-7, is that correct, Coach?
That is correct, yes, sir.
And then in district play, I think you're like, let's see here, 3-1.
We are, yes, sir.
Well, that's outstanding. So obviously, winning games is important and all that kind of stuff, but pleased with where you're at right now. Obviously, you're top of the district, correct?
We're tied for top of the district right now. We're tied with Fayetteville. They're 3-1 as well.
Okay, so the district, let's talk a little bit about the district. I think it's just a 4-team district, so that places great importance on every game, right?
It does. There's little room for error. You know, obviously all 4 teams get to advance to the region, but you have the number 1 team in the state in our region with Santa Fe, and then you have another opponent that's, I think, just as good as any team in the state with Richland. So, and you play the region tournament at Richland, so seeding is going to place a huge, you know, part in advancing to sub-state play and advancing to region play. So every game is very crucial.
And, you know, that's one of those things that has been in place since the TSSAA has had, you know, this playoff system, is the seeding, because you want to make sure, because getting to that sub-state, because getting to the region championship game is your goal, because then you know you're going to the sub-state, and it's just about surviving and advancing at this point. So you're absolutely right. The seeding, you can't place enough importance on that. So the regular season is ultra important.
Yes, sir, it is. And also, you know, we've played a pretty hard schedule this year. We faced a lot of big schools, and we faced a lot of strong single A schools getting into district play. And with each loss, we've learned a little bit about ourselves. And, just real proud of the improvement and growth of this team to this point. So your off-season schedule is just about as important as the seeding when it comes to the district tournament and region tournament.
Well, it's all about a building, right? It's the building blocks.
Yeah, absolutely.
So let's talk a little bit about last night's game. I think big win over Moore County. Y'all put a whooping on them. 3 in double figures. Tell me a little bit about what happened last night.
Yeah, I'll just kind of set the table for it. The game before Moore County, we go to Fayetteville and we get humbled. We feel like it's our district. We feel like it's our year. And we come off that break and we just, we're a young team. It takes us a while to, when you don't practice and go through your daily routines. We go to Fayetteville and we just struggle. So 2 days after the next 2 days of practice, we just try to reinvent ourselves with what made us successful early in the year. We played Moore County at their place, and it was a close game at halftime. We finally pulled away in the second half, but last night, you tip your hat to the boys and Coach Ellis and Coach Bowe, our assistant coaches. They really worked hard. We had some heart-to-heart discussions, and I just felt like from the get-go we just really dominated each phase of the game.
So obviously was able to spread the wealth, 3 in double figures. I don't think that this kid scored double figures, but he had a milestone last night. C.J. Goers, talk about your boy C.J. Goers.
Yeah, absolutely. C.J.'s a 4-year starter. He came to us, as a freshman, moved in and took the point guard role, and as a sophomore, we transitioned him to a shooting guard because of his ability to put the ball in the bucket. And he did so well as a sophomore. As a junior, he stayed as a shooting guard, and he faced, had another growth, another transitional phase where he saw some boxing ones, a lot of face guarding, and just continued to grow and excel at what he was doing. And then this year, he's probably got more offense surrounded around him this year, so he's had to share the wealth a little bit. And, through all of his growth, he scored his thousandth point last night, and you could just see the weight come off his shoulders. CJ's not about individual goals, but it was definitely a goal of his. And, the last 2 or 3 games, he's been right there at it, and you could just see the weight of hitting that one bucket, just build and build and build. And last night after he hit that, he went to the free throw line and went 2 for 2 and scored his 1,000th point. I mean, he just played completely different the rest of the game. He was loose. Looks like the weight had been taken off, and he just played. He distributed the ball well. CJ's a huge team player. And, we did have 3 in double digits last night with Camden Cole at 21 and Gray Barker at 19 and Jackson Nichols at 12. But, if you want to focus on CJ, then you have a lot of other players that you can't forget about. So, CJ didn't get there on his own. He had a lot of teammates that helped him get there, executing plays, finding him, and he acknowledges that. And then, last night they did. Teammates again was celebrating with him. It was a team accomplishment along with an individual accomplishment. We're super proud of CJ.
Coach, you mentioned a key word there, growth. How valuable is it for you as a coach? I know you've been doing this a while, to see something like this where you have a kid that faces different hurdles and is able to be mature enough to understand those hurdles and get through it all and then achieve something like this, 1,000 points. I mean, it's got to be good for you as a coach.
It is. It's tough. A lot of people don't do hard real good. They don't handle it real well. And, the game is not easy at all. And so, you tip your hat to those players who allow you to coach them hard and allow you to push them and allow you to correct them. And but at the same time, as a coach, you have to give up a lot of freedom as well. And put a lot of trust in these guys, and so it just doesn't happen from November to March either. It happens, all year long. So they got to put in their own work after the season's over, and growth is just a very difficult thing because it's not an easy process, and it's not something that happens overnight either.
In today's society, do you think that maybe it's a little bit tougher just because of all the surrounding forces? And I don't want to get on my soapbox. I'm an old school guy. Do you think it's tougher today to see things like this maybe?
It is. I mean, we want instant gratification. We want it now. And something like that doesn't happen now. And so in the world where, you can just punch a button and they deliver it to your house, or you just pretty much get anything instantly. Something like this is learning patience and learning through trial and error. And I know this is so cliche, but you don't have success without failure, and learning how to handle failure and push towards success. It is difficult, and so I'm very lucky to be where I'm at because I have a lot of kids who come from families that hold them accountable and still have a lot of old school values. So they're easy to coach. They can take tough love, and they understand the process of growth.
Well, it's the failures that tell you who you are, really. I mean, not your successes, but your failures, because how you handle it is what defines you. It is one of kind of my thoughts and everything like that. So, Coach, talk about what you got coming up. I mean, we've had a good week. You whooped you whooped them boys last night. Talk about what you got coming up.
Yeah, we only have 2 games left on the schedule. The week of the snow really hurt us. We lost 3 games. We lost an away game to Richland, which would have been great for us because we beat them early in the year. But not only playing a quality team, but we would have played at their place where the region site is hosted. So, and then we lost Cornersville, and we're losing Rockville next week. They have to make up some district games. So we only have 2 games left on the schedule. So, and they're both district games, and Huntland just beat Fayetteville last night, which was, I'm not going to say it was a shocker, but it kind of was to a degree. So, we traveled to Huntland. That's not an easy trip, not an easy gym to play in. So we'll have to bring our A game, and then we finish the season with Fayetteville at home right before district tournaments, which we're hosting the district tournaments this year, which is a blessing for the young team that we have and the expectations that we have. It kind of puts us in a good position. So with only 2 games left, we're going to have a lot of practice time and a lot of time where the boys are going to have to be disciplined, and they're going to have some days off, which will be challenging for them. Because as well, kids today, they just want to play, and practice is not always fun. So they'll be tested in that aspect as well.
Coach, we appreciate your time. We wish you the best of luck. Friday, February 9th, the Eagleville-Fayetteville game. Man, it's going to be a shootout, Coach. I'm excited, man. This is good. This is great. This could probably decide who's the number 1 seed in the tournament, right?
I would say it should. Yes, sir.
Very good. Okay, well, Coach, we wish you the best of luck. That's David McLaren doing great things over there at Eagleville. If you want to see some good basketball and a real barn burner, I would say Friday, February 9th will be your ticket. The Coaches Show is brought to you by Rayburn Insurance Agency in Smyrna, an independent agency offering auto, home, business, and life insurance since 1973. Find out more at rayburn.net.
This is a paid legal ad.
Hi, this is John Day of the Law Offices of John Day. For more than 30 years, my team and I have worked hard to help injured people throughout Middle Tennessee. Over that time, we've helped thousands of people get the legal help they need when they've needed it the most. And if we're not able to help or aren't the right lawyer for you, we'll do the best to point you in the right direction. If you've been injured, call the Law Offices of John Day for a free consultation. And remember, there's no fee unless we win your case.
Hello, this is Coy Young at Las Casas Feed Supply. We'd like to welcome you to our door and hope you find the customer service and expertise that exceeds your expectations.
Las Casas Feed Supply caters to all homeowners with a quarter acre to several acres, focusing on premium feeds and dog foods you won't find in box stores.
Nutrition is our specialty here at Las Casas Feed.
And yes, you can even get milk from the MTSU dairy at Las Casas Feed Supply, the best milk in town. Las Casas Feed on Barlow Lane, just off Highway 96 East in Las Casas.
If you're near retirement or thinking about retiring, you probably have a lot of questions. How do you make your savings last? You're ready for retirement, but are your finances? Let's work together to help ensure your finances can keep up with your unique needs over the long haul. I'm Edward Jones Financial Advisor Lee Colvin. Stop by our office in the Public Shopping Center on South Rutherford Boulevard or give us a call at 615-907-7056 for an appointment. Edward Jones, Making Sense of Investing, member SIPC.
It's time to talk MTCS sports. It's Cougar Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's Murfreesboro.
Presented by Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance. TOA. Live your best life. Online at TOA.com.
We're joined by Middle Tennessee Christian School coaches to talk about their most recent games and their upcoming opponents. It's time to talk orange and white on MTCS Cougar Corner.
Danny Brewer here on the Cougar Corner. You know, I am so excited right now to be joined by Middle Tennessee Christian head boys basketball coach Greg Eubanks. Coach, how are we doing this morning?
Good morning, Danny. It is a beautiful day in Murfreesboro and Middle Tennessee, and it's rainy, but you know they keep talking about this drought we've been having, and so maybe the drought will end. And it's just so funny to think about just how our weeks have changed from last week. We were still covered in snow, and went to school late on Monday, and now it's just everything's wet and dark, and supposedly there's supposed to be some sun coming in next week. But it's just funny how Middle Tennessee weather is, and constantly adjusting to what's going on. But it's a beautiful day. How are you doing this morning?
I'm doing great, Coach, and I'm right there with you because, you know, when I think about last Saturday when I was in here and it was like 2 degrees and ice and snow all over the place, I'll take this, 45 degrees and rain over the 2 degrees and snow any day of the week. And you're absolutely right. As far as Tennessee weather, it's almost like coaching basketball. You be prepared because you never know what's going to happen.
You never know what's going to happen. And you think, it's so funny. They talk about how you practice, how you play like you practice. And sometimes you practice terrible and you think, oh, my goodness, we don't have a chance. And then you end up, winning the game or coming close to winning the game. And sometimes you think, oh, this team's weak. We're going to beat this team. And it just no idea, even in warm-ups and stuff. So just totally unpredictable. But that's the fun. That's the fun part of it. And I told my wife last night after we got home, I said, this is what really makes it fun. It's just the opportunity to try to compete and to see what happens and to watch the kids develop and grow and to face challenges. And so, we got a lot to talk about this week. So we're excited about Middle Tennessee Christian and what's happening.
Yes, and let's talk about one of the really, really super exciting things at Middle Tennessee Christian School. Last night, I was able to honor Eli Wilson. He won the Pigskin Award, which is an award that I founded back in 1994, where we recognize excellence on the high school gridiron. Eli Wilson, a kid that grew up at Middle Tennessee Christian School. I think his entire scholastic career has been at Middle Tennessee Christian School. The kid, unbelievable, 2,100 yards rushing, over 2,100 yards rushing, over 2,600 total yards, 34 touchdowns rushing, state championship. He was they had a great team, but he was a vital cog in all that stuff. So we were able to honor him last night by presenting him with the pigskin. What does a kid like Eli Wilson mean to Middle Tennessee Christian School athletics as a whole, you think?
That whole core group of our seniors on our football team, so many of them did either started Middle Tennessee Christian in kindergarten or even preschool, or they came and in middle school, and what a special group of people. Coach Peterson did a fantastic job with them. But Eli was the guy who you could give the ball to him, and you never knew when he might turn it into an 80-yard touchdown run. And, the line set things up, and they did a lot of shifting. And but Eli, has brought a lot of notoriety in Middle Tennessee Christian. And the football state championship, I joked 2 weeks ago, and I joked, hey, we won a football state championship because it's still like fresh in our minds, and what a special thing it was for the school. First state championship for a team that must have played sport for the school, and just the kind of, like you said, the epitome of a competitor, and a guy that really helps develop all our sports, but just really helps bring notoriety to the school, and just so exciting. That day in Chattanooga, when they got the fumble recovery and ran it back for the touchdown, it's kind of sealed the game for the team. I mean, that was just fantastic. So it was, it's great. It's great to be part of a Middle Tennessee Christian community and have a kid who, elementary school teachers and middle school teachers are there to support him because they've had him in class and they know him. We know him, and it's just, that's what makes Middle Tennessee Christian special, is that we're going to do it. We're going to build programs in ways that are family oriented and that fit into our school culture. So it's good. There's another Anna Clay Shirley is a girl, and she passed 1,000 points this past week as a sophomore. And her family is really deeply rooted in the Middle Tennessee Christian. So that's the type of, Eli and Jesse and Matthew Self and Ryan Dotson and those guys that were on the football team, Yates, were guys that, have been here for a long time. And it's just an exciting part to be a part of that, and to see the football team do so well, and see Anna Clay do so well, and we're just trying to keep up with them.
When you talk about bringing notoriety to Middle Tennessee Christian School, and I think that's something that he's absolutely done. If you can draw people in there, because like last night I went. Of course, I've been there before, but I was still a little awestruck when I drove on the campus and I walked in the gym, because the facilities there are magnificent, and I think that if you can get people there, it kind of sells itself. I mean, especially that basketball gym, and you got to be happy with that. That's fantastic.
It is fantastic. And last night's atmosphere was really special. Homecoming, that honored the homecoming court before the game, and at halftime of the girls' game, and the place was packed. The parking lot was full. We had the video boards, fantastic. Just all the game production that Coach Piercy goes into to make sure that the events are special. And then our band was there last night, and just having a live band there makes the atmosphere special. And then our one thing we want to talk about is our cheerleaders. Our cheerleaders are getting ready to go to nationals down in Orlando not this coming week, but the week after, and we had almost all the cheerleaders there, so there's about 30 or 35 of them, and they just bring so much enthusiasm and love for the school and joy. And so we just wish our cheerleaders the best. They're actually competing today or having a showcase today and tomorrow. Tomorrow there's a full showcase over at Middle Tennessee Christian, a bunch of different cheerleading squads. And then if anybody wants to see our cheerleaders do their routine, that will happen the Monday, and I believe the date's February 5th, Monday, February 5th, and I believe the date's 6 o'clock. So it's a chance to see our cheerleaders do their routine, and they work incredibly hard. They practice a tremendous amount, and to coordinate all those kids to do their cheer program is just a remarkable job by our coach, Coach Brittany Lipscomb, and and it's not just our high school cheerleaders going to Orlando. It'll be our high school cheerleaders, our middle school cheerleaders, and our elementary school cheerleaders. So I'm not sure there'll be a female on campus that week while they're down in Orlando.
Well, that's exciting times for Middle Tennessee Christian School, though. Let's talk a little bit about the basketball program. Last night, tough loss. Talk a little bit about last night's game. I think FRA beat y'all by about 8 points last night. Talk about, but a high-scoring game, 77-69 was exciting. Talk about a little bit about that.
77-69. It was a good game. It was a lot of fun. It was our fourth game this week because we didn't play the previous week, so we made up both of those games this past week. So we played Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday this past week, and so I guess we're kind of going reverse order, if that's okay.
Sure.
But last night we came out and tied at the end of the first quarter. We shot the ball probably as best that we shot the ball all year. We made 10 threes. But the biggest thing was it was a long week for our boys, and we had a really tough loss on Thursday. We had tough loss. We played Battleground Academy, who's ranked in the mid-state by one organization of ranking all the schools in single A and double A public schools and single A private schools. So that's a pretty wide swath of schools, and they had the ranking. And BGA was ranked number 1. We played them on Tuesday night. Columbia Academy was ranked number 3. We played them on Monday night. Providence Christian was ranked number 4. We played them on Thursday night. And then we had Franklin Road Academy last night. And the other school that's the 5th-ranked team is Webb and Bell Buckle, and we play them next Friday night. So it's not an easy schedule, and it's not an easy district, and it would be easy for our boys to feel sorry for themselves or to say, we're not ranked or we're not as good as those teams. And I'm incredibly proud of the effort that they gave last night. I'm incredibly proud of the team that we have that has continued to just work, and we've tried different things, and we've and I've said this all along. We just talked about the football team and how much notoriety it brought to us and things. Well, the football team ended their season right around the 1st of December, and we're about 6 weeks behind at a minimum compared to other basketball teams, and we're playing our best basketball right now. And so we're still getting in the groove of things. Now, unfortunately, our regular season comes to an end next week. And so, but we talked about this with our team this week is what does progress look like? And sometimes progress looks like, we all think in our heads maybe that progress is that we're in a continual upswing and continually getting better. And like when we talked about the weather and being unpredictable, sometimes you go, well, today's not a good day, and we did the best we could, but it wasn't very good. And so there's a lot of ups and downs in that. And so we have times when, we struggle with different things, and we may not be as good tonight as we were last night. But there was 2 games in particular. The BGA game and last night's game were by far our best games of the season, and we came up short in both of them. But we are right on the cusp of being a good team. And I told the boys last night that we're not just based on our talent. We're not just going to go out and beat people on our talent, and we're not good enough for that. But we're also not untalented enough that we're going to lose to every team no matter what. We don't have a prayer. On Tuesday night we played BGA, and we had the ball down 1 with 20 seconds to go in the third quarter, and made a couple of mistakes just right there at the end of the third quarter, allowed them to make a 3-pointer at the buzzer at the third quarter. And then we came out in the fourth quarter and had a turnover, and they made a 3. We had an unfortunate miss, and they made another 3, and so that we lost by about 17 to BGA the other night, which is a really, really good team, but we were right there with them. and it was just a small swing of momentum, and that's what we're working on trying to get rid of, to stop those. Last night against Franklin Road Academy, similar type situation where we were right in there and had an end of the quarter situation. We're going to work on those, by the way. An end of the quarter situation where we didn't get the shot we wanted, and BGA ended up getting a foul and a couple of free throws to end one quarter, and then come out to start this next quarter and have a momentum swing. And so that's the type of thing that we got to fix. But our kids are right there, and the group that we have, I just really love them and how they play. They're playing together, and they're playing unselfishly. And we went and saw the movie The Boys in the Boat back when it was out in theaters back in the 1st of January. And so our motto is in that movie they talk about rowing and working together as one. And so that's kind of become our theme for this season, is we want to be as one and not five, because when we're individuals, we're not going to beat anybody and we're not going to be very good. But as one, we can beat anybody and compete with anybody. We truly believe that. So we're going to continue to work, and we had a situation on Thursday where Kaysen Hill injured himself early in the game, about halfway through the first quarter against Providence, and so he's probably going to be out for the rest of the season. And he was a guy who's a baseball primary person who has committed to play baseball at Sanford down in Birmingham, a good school down in Birmingham, and he's a junior this year, so he has another year of to be at MTCS, but he joined our basketball team actually after the football guys did, and he just kind of was real persistent that he wanted to play basketball. And I told him I'd give him a tryout, and he came out, and he's really good. The best thing about Kaysen is he's a tremendous athlete and he's a tremendous competitor, and he made our team better by just by cutting hard and by coming up with loose balls and rebounds. And we're certainly going to miss him over these next few weeks that we have to play in the remaining of this season. But it breaks my heart that he got injured. It breaks my heart for him, and I just appreciate the value that he brought to our team. And in fact, last night he was sitting right behind our bench, and he's still bringing value to our team, and he wants to be a part of our team and a part of the program. And that's something that I really just appreciate about him. So I'm just grateful for him, and I just hope his recovery is smooth. Or we don't know exactly what's going to happen yet, but he's a good kid, and he's a good example of somebody that is really a competitor and brings a sense of an edge to us that we desperately need.
Obviously, he's one of the boys in the boat. I mean, if he's, even though he's hurt, he's still there, right?
Yeah. He's still there. He came to school yesterday. And he said, "Well, I'm better off being here and being around my friends and being around other people than sitting home and sulking and feeling sorry for myself." And so he came to school yesterday with crutches and a brace, but that he wants to be a part of what we're doing, and just he'll be missed. He'll be missed for but he made us better for what he could do for us.
Coach, we know that basketball is a tournament sport, so after the regular season, everybody's 0-0. So the building, like you've talked about, you want to be playing your best basketball at the end of the year. Talk about what you got coming up these last couple of games and what you're looking for out of the Cougars.
Yeah, so we've got one more week of regular season, and we play Grace Christian twice. Actually, we play Grace Christian on Tuesday in Franklin, and then we play them at home again on Saturday. And our last regular season home game will be next Saturday. The girls will start at 3 o'clock, and the boys will start at 4:30, but against Grace Christian. And then previous to that, the night before, we'll go down to Webb, and that'll be a boys-only game down at Webb Bell Buckle. So we have 3 games next week. Our girls team just has 2 games next week. But these are games that we are just really trying to prepare for the tournament, and our district tournament starts February the 7th. And so you win that game, and you'll be matched up to we're obviously going to be matched up to somebody really good in our district. But you win that game, and you get to play 2 more games, and then actually 3 more games. And then the next round, the region tournament, is after that next week. So the private schools, the Division II schools, start much earlier than a couple of weeks earlier than the public schools do. So, but our state tournament for boys is 2 weeks before the boys public schools tournament. So, just kind of have to shorten our season a little bit, but we're going to see how we can fix that somehow in the future, because it doesn't make a whole lot of sense of schools our size, like Friendship Christian and Columbia Academy and MTCS, who rely so much on football players to have the basketball seasons and football seasons overlap. But that's probably another discussion for another day of how we try to fix that, or enable kids to play as many sports as possible. And that's one of the things about MTCS. Eli Wilson is probably our best soccer player. Anna Clay Shirley is probably one of our best volleyball players and our best basketball player. Kaysen Hill, one of our best baseball players and one of our best basketball players. Ryan Dodson was a solid offensive lineman for that really good offensive line that we had. And he's also one of our best basketball players. Briggs Boyd is a football player and a basketball player. So, that's the beauty of MTCS, and we have great facilities, great support from the administration, and great support from the community. And we've got the Hail tournament still happening. It got delayed about a week because of all the snow, but I'm going to the gym here in just a minute, and I'll be up there all day with all types of middle school teams. Our middle school team plays today at 2 o'clock, and they've lost just 1 game all year. And they are fun to watch. They are competitors. They are skilled, and they play well together. They play as one. And so it's a lot of exciting things happening in MTCS with our program, but also just as a school as a whole.
Absolutely right, Coach Greg Eubanks. We appreciate your time. We wish you the best of luck. There's great things happening at Middle Tennessee Christian School. Obviously, Coach, keep them rolling.
We'll keep going. Thanks so much. Have a great day.
Middle Tennessee Christian School, training for eternity.
People love to see us on the schedule when they have a home game because our fans show up.
MTCS President Matt Tiller.
The way we travel is just phenomenal. Our parents and our community are fully engaged in our school. When we compete, we're trying to do it in a way that honors God. We want to win. We also want to do it in a way that pleases Him.
Providing Christian values and academic excellence in a nurturing environment. That's Middle Tennessee Christian School. Invest in the future of your child. Find out more at mtcscougars.org.
Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance takes great pride in treating local athletes here in Rutherford County. Experts in joint, bones, and muscles. And with over 65 specialists, TOA has a playbook to get you back in the game. To request an appointment, visit TOA.com or call 855-NEED-TOA. Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance. TOA. Live your best life.
Middle Tennessee Christian School, training for eternity.
We're going to be an educational institution that teach Bible every day. Every subject we teach, we're going to teach through a biblical perspective. In every aspect of our school, we're going to do it through a Christian perspective.
MTCS President Matt Tiller.
That also means that everything we do, we have to be excellent. We feel like Christ calls us to excellence. And so that means we have to be excellent academically. That means we have to be excellent athletically, because that's what God calls us to. It's a great place to be.
Invest in your child's future in an environment that fosters Christ-centered values. To find out more, visit mtcscougars.org.
The Prentice Alsop Heating and Air Coaches Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's. It's MTCS Cougar Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's Murfreesboro.
Presented by Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance. TOA. Live your best life. Online at TOA.com.
On FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at WGNSSports.com.
Back here on MTCS Cougar Corner this morning. A lot to go over here, and we'll jump right into it. Let's kind of recap
the week and some information that we have on some of the games, especially girls, since we talked boys basketball this morning with Coach Eubanks. Let's see. It was Middle Tennessee Christian School defeating Columbia Academy on Monday, 71-49. 4 district games this week. My goodness, what a slate. 71-49. And during that game, Anna Clay Shirley joined the 1,000-point club. So congratulations to Anna Clay on that as well. She did that in the first quarter. And MTCS had solid team performance there. Shirley had 30 in the game. Graham 26, Rucker 11, and Smith with 4. And they trailed after, well, no, they actually led all the way, looks like, in that one. So also in girls, on Tuesday, a win over Battleground Academy, 74-44. And it was Shirley with 32, Graham with 24, Rucker 10, Byram with 5, Smith with 2, and White with 1 in that contest. On the boys' side of things, Columbia Academy defeated MTCS 66-40. And then also on Tuesday, a 64-45 loss to BGA. In that game, Grant Hawson had 17, Boyd 14, Hill 11, the double-digit scores for Middle Tennessee Christian School. Also, MTCS falls to PCA 55-49. Played a tough team defense in the game, in the road loss to PCA. Forced the Lions to turn the ball over 15 times, but still come up on the short end there against their rival PCA. The Lady Cougars finished a long 4-game snow reschedule week with a home game versus FRA and homecoming and all that as well, and drop a 37-36 decision to FRA. Graham was the leading scorer with 15. Shirley held to just 11. Rucker 8, Smith 2 in the game. So that is a recap of what happened in hoops this week. A look ahead, and just a reminder, the James C. Hale Tournament, the 50th annual, continues, and still lots of games to go. That snow really did us in, but plenty of action if you want to go see some hoops at MTCS. Also, the middle school girls and boys tournament is underway today and will continue through the week next week as well. The next games for MTCS varsity will be on Tuesday at Grace Christian. The boys will play a JV game at 4:30, then the girls at 6, boys at 7:30. And also on Friday, you've got Webb Bell Buckle for the boys in action. No girls game there since Webb is not in the same district, but Webb boys are. So that is a look at the week ahead. Busy week, running right toward the tournament time. Once that game is finished on Friday, it is district tournament time. So looking forward to all of that as well. Well, that's going to do it here for our coaches' conversation this morning. I want to thank Danny Brewer and John Dinkins for their co-hosting this morning. All of the coaches who made their way in today as well. I hope you enjoyed the Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner and MTCS Cougar Corner today. Coming up on WGNS this afternoon, well, in just a short amount of time here, actually, Lady Raiders coming up at 11:30, just around the corner. They're at FIU today, so 11:30 airtime with Dick Palmer, the old pro, bringing you the game. Then tonight, Chip Walters and Kyle Turnham will have the FIU game from the Glass House, 4:30 airtime with a 5 o'clock tip here on WGNS. Next week, we've got high school basketball on Tuesday and Friday for you, and get a coaches show next Saturday morning right back here bright and early at 8 o'clock with Cougar Corner around 10:15. It's girls basketball week. Okay, stay tuned. We have a lot more coming up for you on News Radio, WGNS. I'm Brian Barrett. I want to thank Dalton Barrett, our producer, and have a great day, everybody. We'll see you back next time.
Get with the power of Boost and get the iPhone